A little while ago, I think it's fair to say, when I was musing about Mark Watt's football team, and he put me right. It wasn't Cowdenbeath, as I suggested. It is, in fact, Hearts, and he wears 51 because that is the scoreline that Hearts beat Hibs. No, yes, Hearts beat Hibs in the 2012 Scottish Cup final. So thanks to Stephen. He says he's listening tonight, so we've got another of our captive audience listening in this evening. It's good to have you all along, and you can get in touch with me in the usual way, should you wish to do so. If not, well, just listen, enjoy the ride. Umpires out, batsmen out, fielders out. Our umpires are Rob Bailey and Steve O'Shaughnessy, who gave those 5 penalty runs against Carlos Brathwaite, didn't he, on Sunday, and quite right too. And it's going to be Hayden Kerr to bowl the first over of the evening. We will have half-hourly updates into the evening show on BBC Radio Derby. You'll know exactly when they are, because I'll start talking a bit quicker and try and get as much information into 30 seconds or so as I possibly can. Obviously, Mark Watt has helped increase the listenership north of the border. Dallas Moyer, former Derbyshire man as well. Nagpur, this is from Stephen. Mark's mum and dad listening as well. Good to have you aboard. And yes, you're absolutely right. But he also says he's a Lanky, which is all right, because some of us in the commentary box are Lankies as well. Lancashire here on Friday night, don't forget. Everybody will be tuning in for that one, I have absolutely no doubt. I'll try my best to keep across anything on social media, but it's a bit tricky in T20 cricket because it all happens so quickly. Ben Curran's going to face the first delivery, and Hayden Kerr's going to bowl it from the racecourse end. Good crowd inside the county ground, bowls, and it's dabbed into the leg side for a single, which will bring Chris Lynn on to strike. A couple of centuries and a couple of half centuries in this season's T20 Blast for Chris Lynn. Destructive batsman at his best, clearly, but out for a first ball caught off the bowling of Hayden Kerr in the game at Wantage Road. It was Josh Cobb who did all the damage, you may remember, down at Wantage Road. The two men outside the circle are down at the point boundary and the square leg boundary. That's Sam Connors. In goes Kerr again. Left arm over the wicket, turned into the leg side by Chris Lynn and fielded by George Scrimshaw, who's fielding at short, fine leg. Fielders running hither and yon all over the place out there, as is generally the way in T20 cricket. Lots of scurrying about. Thank you for all your support to suggest that the throw at Wayne Madsen on Sunday wasn't the right thing to do. This one is just played down backward of square on the offside for a single. Sam Connors comes in off the point boundary to do the fielding, and it's 3 without loss in the first over. Derbyshire having won the toss and decided to field first. The two sides, Chris Lynn and Ben Curran out there for Northamptonshire at the moment. Dear, oh dear. Josh Cobb, Safe Zabe, Rob Keogh, Jimmy Neesham, formerly of this parish, Lewis McManus, the wicketkeeper, Tom Taylor, another former Derbyshire man, Freddie Heldrick, Graham White and Ben Sanderson. In goes Kerr again and bowls. That's a good delivery, bang on target. And Lynn just defends it back to him. He tosses the ball away to Lewis Rees, who will open the batting later on with Shan Masood. Wayne Madsen and Leas Deploy follow them at Brooke Guest, Alex Hughes, Matthew McKiernan, Hayden Kerr, Sam Connors, Mark Watt and George Scrimshaw. Not necessarily in that order. I think that Mark Watt might come in ahead of Sam Connors. I'm fervently hoping, with the greatest of respect to all our Scottish listeners, that Mark Watt doesn't bat. Here goes Kerr. Slip in place, he's in and bowls, and that's pulled. It was short, and it's pulled down to fine leg for 4 runs. First boundary of the evening. Disappointing start. Disappointing delivery, rather, from Hayden Kerr. First boundary. It took Birmingham until the first ball of the fourth over on Sunday to get a boundary. Northamptonshire have done it from the fifth ball of the first over. It's 7 without loss. Final ball of the over then. Hayden Kerr goes in and bowls, and that one is defended back to him. So a good start for Hayden Kerr. 7 runs off. It's 7 without loss after 1 over. Are we going to see spin now, or will it be Sam Connors? It'll be Sam Connors. He's already removed his cap and he's on his way in from the boundary. So Connors to bowl over number 2. Picked up career best 3 for 25 at Edgbaston on Sunday, so his confidence will be high. Derbyshire will be hoping he can continue that form here at the county ground this evening. Sun shining brightly, floodlights on. Never quite understood that. It's part of the regulations of T20 cricket that you have to have the lights on at the start of the game, but it does feel slightly bizarre. There's Roger Bolster, who's inside the ground, has tweeted, "It is glorious." Derbyshire looking for 5 wins in the T20 Blast in a row for the first time in their history, in front of a good crowd on a beautiful evening. Here comes Sam Connors, bowling to Ben Curran. He's in, and Curran pulls it into the leg side. A little aerial, slightly unconvincing. And they go through for a single. Yes, Martin got away on time here. We've had an over and 1 ball, and Northamptonshire, who were put into bat by Derbyshire when Shan Masood won the toss, at 8 without loss. Ben Curran has 3. The very dangerous Chris Lynn, who's hit the only boundary so far, has 5. Derbyshire looking for a 5th successive win in the T20 Blast, which would be a club record. It would also take them up to 2nd in the table, we think, of the qualification. That one's gone straight up in the air off Chris Lynn. Wayne Madsen's underneath it, and Wayne Madsen takes the catch. And Chris Lynn has gone, and that is a huge blow for Derbyshire. Sam Connors, career best 3 for 25 on Sunday, takes the first wicket, and Northants are 8 for 1. That's exactly what Derbyshire wanted. Chris Lynn out early. Good catch by Wayne Madsen. That ball was up in the air for a long, long time. And Sam Connors, who picked up those 3 wickets at Birmingham, has only gone and picked up another one. And Lynn goes for a runner ball 5 with 1-4. And that is a huge blow. Terrific catch by Wayne Madsen, who is continuing to climb those charts that David Griffin will no doubt be tweeting about later on. But catches, the new man is Josh Cobb. Let's not forget what Josh Cobb did to Derbyshire on, it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago now at Wantage Road. I was going to say on which day it was, but quite frankly I can't remember. I think it was a Tuesday night. If it's Tuesday, it must be T20. It's that kind of time of year from a cricket commentator's perspective. Josh Cobb to face his first delivery. In comes Connors and bowls. That one is crashed out into the offside for 4 runs. There was a dive at extra cover from Lear Staploy, but he couldn't get to the ball, and it's raced away and crossed the boundary, and Josh Cobb's up and running. Slightly disappointing that he was able to get away first delivery. I think I'm printing out, there we go. I think this is it. Josh Cobb. He was caught by Sam Connors off the bowling of George Scrimshaw in the first game, but he did make 70 or 44 deliveries with 6 4s and 3 6s. So he had quite the day out. I think he's the only batsman to have scored 7 6s in an innings twice against Derbyshire in the T20 Blast. Here's Connors in and bowls to Cobb, who lifts this one out towards the wide, long on boundary. This time it was banged in short by Connors, and he doesn't have the pace to do that. He needs to pitch it up, and Shan Masood's going to have a quiet word with him, but that's back-to-back boundaries from Josh Cobb. 16 for 1 in the second. Shan Masood, as I was saying to Chris Coles in Sports In at 6, just exudes calmness out there. Absolutely wonderful. Nothing seems to get him too high or too low, which is exactly what you want in a skipper. And at no stage did Derbyshire ever panic either. I think it's fair to say the two men outside the circle now are on the square leg boundary and on the mid-wicket boundary. So they're sort of there for bad balls. He can't bowl outside the off stump. He comes in again, Connors, and that one is guided into the offside. That might go for 4. It might be 3 successive 4s to start his innings here for Josh Cobb, and it is. Again, disappointment for Connors. Didn't put it in the right place. He can't afford to bowl outside the off stump with the field on the offside, all on the edge of the 30-yard circle, but that's what he served up there for Josh Cobb. And Northants, despite losing the wicket of Chris Lynn, are 20 for 1 in the second. Here comes Connors again. He's bowling from the city end here. In and bowls to Cobb, and that one is crashed away, and it's 4 more. Out towards the cover boundary, and that is what you call a mixed bag of an over, I think. Dear, oh dear. A single off the first ball, a wicket off the second, and then 4 successive boundaries. 24 for 1 at the end of 2 overs. 17 runs from it. Vaguely disappointing. We're going to see, much to the delight, I'm sure, of our Scotland contingent, Mark Watt bowl the first of his overs from the racecourse end. 22, 24, 25 yards. Who knows where he's going to bowl them from. He picked up 3 wickets against Yorkshire, all of them bowled. Remarkable effort. Absolutely remarkable effort. He's just guiding his team around, or his fielders rather, around. Men out, both on the leg side. Watt's going to bowl over the wicket to the left-handed Ben Curran from the racecourse, and he just wants the square leg squarer, which he is now. I think that's Matty McKinnon in the far distance, and Watt is in and bowls on it. Strikes the pad, not out, says umpire Rob Bailey. Rob Bailey likes a chat. Mark Watt's still got his hands over his eyes. Rob Bailey will be telling him why he gave it not out. Inside edge, pitched outside, I don't know. Or hit outside the line. Anyway, dot ball, almost as important. Curran waits now as Watt. He's over the wicket, not round the wicket, of course, and that one is pushed out into the offside for a single. Starts with back-to-back dots, Mark Watt. I've got some statistics. There are always statistics, aren't there? Statistics and lies, of course, as Watt is in again, and that one is down the ground. It's in the air. It's going to be caught by Lewis Rees. It is just outside the 30-yard circle. He judged that beautifully. And Ben Curran's gone now, and it's 2 wickets, and Watt's got another. Terrific stuff from Lewis Rees and from Mark Watt. And Derbyshire have got Northampton at 24 for 2 now, with a wicket in the second and the third overs. Thought for a moment it was going to float over Lewis Rees's head, if I'm honest. But he judged it absolutely perfectly, and in the end took it with both hands. 6 deliveries Curran was out there for his 3. Josh Cobb, unbeaten on 16. How they would like to remove him. This should be Saif Zaib, the new batsman, and indeed it is. I was talking about stats. That's Mark Watt's 11th wicket of the T20 campaign. And his economy rate is under 8 and over. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. Matty McKinnon 7.4, Alex Hughes 7.6, Mark Watt 7.9, George Scrimshaw 8.5. For a bowler who bowls at his pace, and I can remember a handful of balls that have gone off the edge down to third man, which with a slip cord in there may well have been ended up as wickets. Anyway, here comes Mark Watt over the wicket and bowls to Zaib outside the off stump. Not inside the blue line. He's given a wide, has Rob Bailey. So the first run off Mark Watt is courtesy of a wide. And he'll have to bowl that one again, which he does now. Bowls to Saif Zaib, who turns it into the leg side. Gambling in comes George Scrimshaw. Despite having the longest legs of any professional cricketer in the world, it takes a bit of time to get going. Just Big George. So Zabe off the mark, 26 for 2. Or is it 27? No, 26 for 2. When Madsen is now fielding it long on down below us, right down below us. He's having a chat with the guys on the PA, perhaps asking them not to play such awful music. Here comes Watt around the wicket in and bowls to Cobb, who pushes it up towards Wayne Madsen for a single. And they move on to 27 for 2. As I say, there'll be updates throughout the evening into Martin Williams' show over on BBC Radio Derby FM. Here on the BBC Sport website and app. We've got the whole show's coming live from 6 o'clock from Trent Bridge on Thursday night as what goes into complete is over. That's tickled away down the leg side. I'm not sure. Oh, it hasn't come off anything, so it's 5 wide. So Mark Watt can't quite believe it because I thought it was tickled away. And as it is, it comes down as 5 and he'll have to bowl it again, and he's very, very disappointed with that outcome. And I can't say that I'm surprised. 32 for 2. A couple of calls he hasn't entirely agreed with. The Scotland International. This one is pushed through a little quicker, turning to the leg side, and they scamper through for a quick single. Zabe moves on to 2. Cobb has 17 at the end of 3 overs, 33 for 2. So 9 runs off that over, including the 5 wides. So good effort still from Mark Watt, who's continuing his fine form in the T20 Blast for Derbyshire. It was always going to be great to see him back. He had a spell here a few years ago. He's since played cricket all around the world. Hayden Kerr is going to bowl over number 4 from the City end. Scotland didn't go to Texas with them. I don't know if they're still there or not. In comes Hayden Kerr, then bowls, and that one is guided down to backward point by Zabe for a single. He moves on to 3. And it's 34 for 2 now. Northampton in the 4th over. Watt, who also played in the first-class match against Middlesex and picked up wickets. He's having a really good time of it at the moment with Derbyshire. I quite like them to sign him permanently, but whether or not that's possibility, I have no idea. Sam Connors has just moved backward of square on the offside boundary as Hayden Kerr comes in to bowl to Josh Cobb, who's bowled! And now that could be a big wicket. Tried to guide it into the offside, off stump cartwheeling out, and Josh Cobb, who did all the damage for Northants in the game at Wantage Road, has been bowled by Hayden Kerr for 17 off just 6 deliveries. That's how well he was going. And they're 34 for 3 now, Northamptonshire, and you all know what happens when you lose 3 wickets in the power play. I have no idea who said it, but apparently it's not good. 34 for 3 now, with both Cobb and Chris Lynn back in the hutch. Here's Rob Keogh, who can bat himself, of course. They can all bat, let's face it. But Hayden Kerr leapt into the air, punched with his right fist. And this has been a terrific start for Derbyshire. We're only in the 4th over, and already the visitors are 3 down. Only one other game going on in the North Group this evening, and that is not far away from here at Trent Bridge. They're in the 12th over, and Leicestershire struggling a little bit. They're 90 for 4, having won the toss and decided they'd have a bat first. Middlesex are 98 for 2, have been put in by Glamorgan in Cardiff. That's in the 13th over, and the big top of the table clash. Second place Somerset, 86 for 4 against Surrey at the Oval, after being put in by the home side. There is one other game, I beg your pardon. Gloucestershire are 32 for 1 in the 4th over against Kent at Canterbury. Here comes Hayden Kerr from the City end, slip in place. That's left alone outside the off stump by Rob Keogh. Don't see too many leaves in T20 cricket. We've just seen one there. Ball taken by Brooke Guest, who's at 11 dismissals in this competition, including the one that he got to get rid of Adam Hose. Good catch that. Fairly straightforward, really, off Matty McKiernan. Was his 11th dismissal. That equalled the record for Derbyshire that he set last season. One more and he's a new record holder, and that one is off a leading edge out into the offside. Keogh fancies 2 here. Zabe says absolutely no chances. In off the boundary comes Sam Connors. Good throw. And the Steelbacks move on to 35 for 3. Keogh off the mark. Second delivery he faced, and Zabe has 3 from 3 balls. But the big news is that Chris Lynn has gone for 5. Josh Cobb has gone for 17. Still to come Jimmy Neesham. Tom Taylor, who can hit the ball. We know all about Tom and Jimmy Neesham. As Kerr is on his way in again. Balls, that one is clipped into the leg side, but straight to the man at mid-wicket, who is Leas to Ploy, and there's no run. Zabe can't get the ball away at the moment. Been a terrific over. 2 runs and a wicket. Hayden Kerr, first over, just 7. Therefore, his figures are pretty decent too. He's got 1 for 9, the same as Mark Watt, but he's bowled 11 deliveries. He's on his way in again. And bowls to Zabe, who guides this one down to third man. Good stop by Watt, just diving, I say diving, just falling to his left-hand side. Stops the ball, throws it back. Can't prevent the single, but prevents the boundary from being scored. And at the end of 4, 36 for 3, the Steelbacks just 3 runs off that over. Terrific start by Derbyshire, who won the toss. Shan Masood deciding that Derbyshire would chase as they look for a club record 5th successive win in T20 Blast cricket. George Scrimshaw, Big George is on. They do mix it up nicely. Derbyshire. Scrimshaw bowled his 6th over at Birmingham. In fact, it's not George Scrimshaw, it's going to be Wayne Madsen. That's interesting. Change their mind, and they do change. He does change his mind, Masood. Wayne Madsen. Did he bowl at... no, he didn't. I don't think he bowled at Birmingham. Looking down my list of bowlers, Scrimshaw bowled the 6th over, the 10th over, and then came back at the end to bowl the 18th over, having bowled the 12th as well. But it's going to be Wayne Madsen to try and get through a quick over here for Derbyshire. He's in and bowls, and that one is launched down the ground. It's in the air, but it's going to go all the way to the boundary. 1 bounce 4, straight back over Madsen's head. He's a slight danger. Bringing on the part-time spinner. He's bowled an awful lot in T20 cricket, of course, as Wayne Madsen. He's only bowled 7 overs this season, but he has got 2 wickets, 28, and an economy rate of just over 8. A chat here with Shan Masood, and has the man stayed back on the boundary? He has. Lewis Rees has stayed back on the long on boundary as Madsen is in, and this one is driven along the floor for 4 more by Safe Zabe. That was out through the extra cover region all the way along the floor. Nice shot. He moves to 12, 44 for 3 in the 5th over. We've seen it a couple of times this season when they have sort of changed their mind about a delivery, or a bowler coming on, changed their mind, and the next over hasn't gone well. This one hasn't started well, but there's a defensive shot into the leg side. Around goes Sam Connors to do the fielding and just tosses the ball back to Wayne Madsen. Listen to that. Glorious sound of silence in a cricket ground in a T20 match. No trumpet, no music. Marvellous. Rob Keogh on strike, 45 for 3. I know some people like the noise. Just occasionally it's nice to hear a bit of silence. He's in Madsen, and Keogh turns that one into the leg side. In off the boundary comes Leas to Ploy to do the fielding. Single completed comfortably, 46 for 3. If you're wondering where Lauren is, she was due to be with me this evening, but was called away to supervise the Derbyshire under-13 girls up at Newton-le-Willows. So haven't heard any news of them up there, but let's hope that they had a successful trip to Newton-le-Willows near Warrington. Single taken by Zabe, moves on to 14, just clip that into the leg side, straight towards where Sam Connors came in to do the fielding, 47 4-3. Remember, Birmingham only made 44 in their power play on Sunday. Madsen bowls back into his crease, goes Keogh, plays it back to Madsen, end of the over. Not as much damage as there might have been after that first one went 4-4, but 11 runs off it nonetheless. And at the end of 5 overs, the Steelbacks are 47 for 3. And we are going to see George Scrim. Well, I'm going to write his name in. I've already written his name in once, but I'm fairly confident he's going to bowl this time from the city end, in front of a fairly well-populated permanent temporary stand at the far end of the ground. There's a fair few in the family stand away to our left-hand side as well. In fact, I think this is a decent crowd. Always a tough sell. Tuesday night T20 cricket during term time. Letters should be addressed to the ECB on that front. There's Scrimshaw's in. He didn't like that at all, save Zabe, but he managed to turn it around the corner and get 4 runs down a fine leg. I don't think he had his eyes open when he played that shot. He was sort of cowering out of the way, save Zabe, but he's managed to pick up another boundary. It's his third. He moves on to 18, and Northamptonshire's half century's up there, 51 for 3 in the final over of the power play. Those 3 wickets could be fairly punishing, though, in the final reckoning. We'll have to wait and see. I do agree with Mark back. Taking wickets is good, but Sam Connors does need to just work out his best delivery. Having gone for 17 in that second over of the innings, this one's pushed out into the offside by Saif Zabe. Half fielded, barely half fielded by Alex Hughes. I think it struck him on his right knee and he's limping around out there now. That'll have hurt. He's just trying to get the blood moving. He's hopping up and down on the spot. He's at extra cover. It was a dot ball, 51 for 3 it remains. Zabe on 18 from 11 deliveries as in comes Scrimshaw again. That'll be wide down the leg side. Steve O'Shaughnessy signals 52 for 3. Always a problem in T20 cricket. There is no leeway. 113 for 5 now, Leicestershire, and after 14 overs at Trent Bridge against Nottinghamshire. They'll be disappointed with that. Although it's probably not surprising. Here, Northamptonshire 52 for 3 in the final over of the power play. Scrimshaw bowls wide of the off stump, left alone by Saif Zabe to go through to wicketkeeper Brooke Guest. That's 2 leaves we've seen in the last couple of overs or so. We don't see many, now we've seen 2 in one game. Members' balcony is well populated across the ground from where we are. Shadows lengthening despite it being the longest day. I think it'll go dark in Scotland tonight, will it? 52 for 3. Zabe waits. Scrimshaw is in and he just taps this out into the offside. He wants a single. There isn't one there and it's picked up by Alex Hughes, who races in from extra cover to do the fielding. Nice bit of work from Hughes. I assume we are wrong because nobody's said that we're not. Let's have a listen. There we are wrong. That's good news. Good news for everybody. Well, me especially, because I dialed the stream. I was very nervous dialing streams. Here is Scrimshaw again, and this one is thrashed away, edged down, flies away for 4 runs down to third man. That is a danger with George Scrimshaw and his pace. As I say, an awful lot of runs off him have come down there. And it's 2 boundaries from the over and a wide. It's 56 for 3. With 1 ball of the power play to be bowled. 14 overs after this. Cut-off time, 8:15. Everything was absolutely fine in that respect. Comes Scrimshaw again. This one's pushed out into the offside. It beats Alex Hughes. Now there's a chase on here for Shan Masood. Is he going to get to the ball before it reaches the boundary? He does. Hooks it back. They're thinking about coming back for a third. They think again. 2 runs to end the over. Zabe moves on to 24. Keogh has 2. And at the end of that one, 58 for 3. 11 runs off that one. Northamptonshire would probably be happy with 58 runs, but the fact that they've lost 3 wickets means that they're just going to be a little bit circumspect as the power play comes to an end and Mark Watt has the ball back in his hands, ready to bowl from the racecourse end. Madsen and Lewis Rees just have a little low 5 moment down below us as they move from mid-on to mid-off or mid-off to mid-on on the boundary respectively. And Rob Keogh, who's got 2 from 4 deliveries, is the next man, and he's the only man in the top 6 for Northamptonshire who hasn't got a half century yet this season. I thought I'd put that out there now. And again, Chris Lynn's got 2 centuries and 2 half centuries and was out today for 5 on his return to the Northamptonshire team. And goes Watt around the wicket bowls. That one's clipped up towards long on when Madsen jogs in to do the fielding. 59 for 3. Northampton's on a pretty good run of form themselves, of course. They've won 4 of their last 5 matches, and the 5th one was a washout. In comes Mark Watt and bowls. That one is turned into the leg side. They're thinking about 2 here. That's nicely played. The fielder, who is Matty McKiernan, gets to the ball, but it was beautifully played by Saif Zabe, who picks up a couple there to move on to 26, and it's now 61 for 3. So they're the Northamptonshire season so far. He probably won't have time during the Mark Watt over to go through everything as he's in again now and bowls. That one is clipped into the leg side. They'll get a single here. Watt is chasing it back to the edge of the 30-yard circle, but he eventually gives up and leaves it for Lewis Rees, who chases it. They lost to Birmingham by 125 runs in their opening game. They then beat Durham by 31. Had a washout against Notts at Trent Bridge. Here's Watt around the wicket again, bowling to Keogh. That one is pushed straight back to him by the Northamptonshire batsman. They beat Leicestershire by 42 at Wantage Road. They lost to Lancashire by 2 wickets at Old Trafford and have since had wins over Durham, Derbyshire, Worcestershire and Lancashire. That one is pushed down to 3rd man by Rob Keogh. Dot ball. That no result came on Saturday when the rain came across large parts of the country. In goes Watt again and fires this one in. It's pushed up towards long off by Keogh for a single. And that's the final ball of the over. 62 for 3, just 4 runs off it. Terrific over from Mark Watt, the first one outside of the power play. Have an update for FM listeners fairly shortly. Anuj Dal on the field giving a drink to Hayden Kerr. Not seen Anuj Dal in the T20 Blast this season. Had a really good game against Middlesex in the Championship, and no doubt we'll see him on Sunday when Derbyshire are down at Hove to face Sussex. George Scrimshaw bowling over number 8. He's in and bowling to Rob Keogh. Oh, gets one that absolutely lifts on him. That's a terrific delivery. Wow, didn't fancy that. That was a really, really good delivery. No, Martin, I must have given the wrong impression because it was terrific news. This might be more good news. Derbyshire are fielding. The man underneath this catch is Matty McKiernan, and he takes it. And Rob Keogh's gone now, and Northamptonshire are 4 down. They're batting first. Oh, it's a no ball. It's a no ball. So that will not count, I'm afraid. That is a no ball, and that won't count. So they're 3 down. Let's get back to where we were. 63 for 3. Rob Keogh on 4. Saif Zaib is on 27 from 17. They got Chris Lynn out last time you were with me. He's the big hitting Australian. 2 centuries in the competition already this season. He was dismissed for 5. Ben Curran made 3. And Josh Cobb, who took Derbyshire apart at Wantage Road when the sides met a couple of weeks ago down there in the competition, was bowled by Hayden Kerr for 17. It's been a really good start for Derbyshire because Northamptonshire, who were put into bat, are 66 for 3. And I'm sorry for giving you the wrong impression. So that's a no ball. They ran 2. I think one of them was short. It was chaos out there, absolute chaos. And then the next delivery, which was it a free hit? If it was, it went for 4. Anyway, here we go. 70 for 3 now. Rob Keogh's on 9. Scrimshaw angry, bowls to him. This one's gone straight up in the air. There's a chance here for Hayden Kerr. He's underneath it, takes the catch. And no ball sign this time. And Keogh has gone for 9 off 12 deliveries. The 4th wicket is down now. Northamptonshire 70 for 4. Good catch by Kerr again. It was in the air for a long time. Scrimshaw himself on the big screen gives the out sign, and George Scrimshaw, well, his T20 numbers are absolutely remarkable. Just have a quick look at my sheet here. Scrimshaw, well, that was his 16th wicket of the season. He takes a wicket every 14 deliveries. I mean, it's astonishing. For a man of his pace, he does go for runs on occasions, and but I'll tell you what, you wouldn't swap him for anybody at the moment. Lots of people say, who is this man? Who is this man? Well, he's been around a while. He's been in the Derbyshire side for a couple of seasons now, as George Scrimshaw, a thoroughly likeable young man. And it's always good to see him get a wicket. He celebrates with plenty of vim and vigour. And the 4th wicket goes down in the 8th over. This one counts. And the Steelbacks are 70 for 4. And Jimmy Neesham is the new man in. Former Derbyshire man, of course. Former just about everybody man, in all honesty. Let's have a look and see exactly how many different teams he's played for. Jimmy Neesham, it's plenty. On the list that I have in front of me, Derbyshire, Essex, Kent seconds. I'm sure he was thrilled about that. Derbyshire seconds on there as well. He plays for the Welsh Fire in that other nonsense. Mumbai Indians, Wellington, Auckland, North Island, New Zealand. Here's Scrimshaw bowling to him from the city end, and that one is guided down to 3rd man, where Matty McKinnon, who took the catch that wasn't a little earlier, does the fielding, and Neesham's off the mark straight away. 71 for 4. Neesham didn't look 100% fit to me in the game down at Wantage Road. He had a tablet when they were in the field. Northampton eventually winning that one, as I say, very comfortably indeed. 5 wickets as they chased down the Derbyshire total, which was a little paltry. Nice to get rid of Zaib now as he turns this one into the leg side. Around goes Hayden Kerr. In fact, he leaves the fielding to Sam Connors, who hurls the ball and keeps them down to a single. Excellent piece of fielding, as we've come to expect from Sam Connors. The score moves on to 72 for 4, with Zaib on to 28 now. The run rate is a very healthy 9.3, but we're already down to batsman number 6. Still to come Lewis McManus, the wicketkeeper, Tom Taylor, Freddie Heldrick, Graham White and Ben Sanderson. Neesham, who crouches, his legs are quite wide apart. He does crouch rather a lot, waits for Scrimshaw to come in and defends that delivery. Straight back to Big George, and the over comes to an end. So despite that no ball catch, just 10 runs off the Scrimshaw over. He's a little expensive this evening, slightly more expensive than he normally is. 1 for 20 from his 2 overs. Steelbacks 72 for 4 with Saif Zaib on 28 and Jimmy Neesham on 1. The man out in that over. Rob Keogh for 9, caught by Hayden Kerr. Just down below us at 3rd man off a top edge. Now the man at long on, as when Madsen comes back to bat. It's going to be Alex Hughes. He just has a little look up here. No emotion on his face, young Yoz. I say young. Here's Wayne Madsen again. His first over, they got 11 runs from one way or another. And he bowls his first delivery to save Zabe. He clips it into the leg side. They're thinking about two, but I don't think Jimmy Neesham's a two kind of guy. I'm not sure that Safe Zabe is. 73 for 4. As I say, a very decent sized crowd in. Mr. Goodness at Zoo Daddy. Any idea why the main camera over the bowler is off colour and low res? Absolutely no idea at all. I've nothing to do with the stream. Madsen bowls to Neesham, turn into the leg side. And they are going to come back for a second here as in comes Leas Deploy, hurls the ball in, hits Safe Zabe, and he goes up and he'll apologise. Zabe picks the ball up and gives it back to Wayne Madsen. 2 more to the total. David McCardle, in answer to my it won't get dark in Scotland, he's camping in Speyside. He said there'll be about 3 hours of twilight. I know it stays light up there a bit longer. This next delivery is pushed by Neesham up towards long off. Alex Hughes comes in off the boundary. 76 for 4. Neesham moves on to 4. Good over so far from Madsen. 3 deliveries of it remain. Madsen in again, loops that a little bit more, turn into the leg side. They're going to come back for 2. They know they're not because Lewis Rees got there nice and quickly. Zabe has to content himself with a single. He moves to 30 from 20. And the Steelbacks to 77 for 4 in the 9th over. And by Rob Bailey just asks Madsen to wait as Neesham settles over his bat. He is there now and he clips this into the leg side to the left of Wayne Madsen. I think it was aerial, and he jogs through for another single to move on to 5. 78 for 4. The run rate, which was over 9 and over at one point, has dropped below 9 now. It's 8.8. Madsen in and balls. This will help though. It's hammered out into the offside. Around the boundary goes Sam Connors, who does brilliantly to keep the ball in play, and as a result Zabe only picks up a couple there. That's excellent work from Sam Connors. 80 for 4 at the end of 9 overs. 8 runs off that one from Wayne Madsen. And once again, terrific work from Sam Connors in the field. Really is. He really is a top fielder. I think we might be about to see Alex Hughes for the first time this evening. Are we? No, we're going to see Sam Connors for the second time this evening. That slightly surprised me. Sam Connors then from the City End. Thought we might be seeing Alex Hughes, who we haven't seen as yet. We'll see him at some point, I'm sure. Ken Davis asking if there's a commentary tonight. He's trying to listen in Cyprus. We're on the BBC Sport website and app. I don't know how else to, if you can't hear me, you won't know. Connors bowls, that one is lifted straight back down the ground. It's gone a long way, it's gone all the way for 6. Jimmy Neesham taking a liking to Sam Connors' first delivery. He moves into double figures, he's on 11 now. And he's 86 for 4 at the start of the 10th over. Right in the slot. Right in the slot. He wasn't going to miss out there, Jimmy Neesham. Powerfully built Kiwi left-hander crouching down. Here comes Connors again from the City End and bowls to him, and this time he defends it straight back to Sam Connors, which brings a ripple of applause from the decent crowd inside the Incora County Ground this evening. Corporates enjoying themselves on the top deck of the Elite Performance Centre away to our left-hand side. I don't think there are any stag doos in tonight, which is always a bit disappointing when there are no stag doos. Can't see any traffic cones either as Connors bowls. That one is pulled into the leg side. It'll be fielded by Leas Deploy, who fumbles initially, but they're not going to come back for a second. 87 for 4. Neesham on to 12. Zabe has 32. This partnership, 17 off 12 balls. And Safe Zabe is by some considerable distance the leading scorer in the innings. Just 1 half-century to his name this season. And that one is, oh, I thought it was going to be edged through to the keeper. It isn't, because he didn't touch it. And then Wickets throws it to Mark Watt, who couldn't see the ball in the sun, and it went straight past him. Picked up by Matty McKinnon, who's out in the deep on the cover boundary. 87 for 4 it remains. Run right back to 9. This next delivery is guided down to short third man, where Mark Watt with a tumbling stop prevents a run from being scored. Excellent work by Watt. George Scrimshaw's at third man on the boundary. Hayden Kerr's at fine leg down below us. There's the ploy out at deep backward square leg. Wayne Madsen out at mid-wicket. In comes Connors again, bowls, and that one is off a leading edge out into the offside. A really good finish to that over. Only 7 runs from it, and 6 of them came off the first delivery. 87 for 4 at the halfway stage then. Here is Alex Hughes for the first time tonight. Unsurprising, I think, that we're about to see Alex Hughes with a bit of pace off. See what this looks like from a Derbyshire perspective. He's going to come around the wicket to Jimmy Neesham. He'll have bowled at him, I'm sure. In the time Jimmy Neesham was here at Derbyshire. Well, Alex Hughes. Neesham taps his bat. And in goes Hughes and bowls to him. Absolutely no pace on the ball whatsoever. Pushed up towards mid-off. Around comes Shan Masood to do the fielding. And they go through for a relatively comfortable single to move to 88 for 4. Neesham on to 13 from 9 deliveries. 2 left-handers out there. Zabe taps his bat. One man considerably taller than the other one. Chops it away and it's fielded there at the second attempt. Well, it wasn't fielded at the second attempt by Mark Watt. And then Hayden Kerr can't pick it up either. He kicks it away from himself, but they'd already decided that they weren't going to take a run. Hughes back to his mark. 88 for 4. Around the wicket, bowls to Zabe, who carves this away into the offside. Connors will do well to stop this. Oh, he's done it again. Sam Connors, absolutely brilliant. That's at least 2 lots of 2 that he's saved out there in the distance. That is sensational from Sam Connors. Keeps them down to 2. They move to 90 for 4. He is brilliant. Brilliant. Lewis Rees, you might have heard in the effects microphone, just giving him the applause, hands above his head. That was magnificent from Sam Connors. Got his hands on his knees now. I'm not surprised. In goes Hughes again, and he's tried a little scoop. I think he's going to get 4 runs for this. It turned into more of a thin edge down where a very fine third man would have been. Zabe picks up a boundary. 38 to him now. 94 for 4 Northamptonshire Steelbacks. So again, they're going all right numbers-wise. You know, a couple of wickets and the run rate could dry up. There'll be no panic out there yet. Hughes is in and bowls down the pitch comes Zabe, cuts it away out towards, well, guess who? Sam Connors. This time he moves around to backward point to do the fielding, hurls the ball in, keeps them down to a couple. Zabe moves on to 40, 96 for 4. He's going to come over the wicket now. Is Alex Hughes. He's had enough of bowling around the wicket. 9 runs off the over so far. And he's in and bowls to Zabe, who tries to pull it away down the leg side. It's a wide. Hughes can't quite believe it. I think he thought there was an under edge. Still 1 to go in the over. 10 runs off it now. Hughes didn't look massively happy when he saw Rob Bailey with his arms outstretched. In again, this one's floaty and it's driven down the ground. It's aerial for quite a while before it reaches Lears to Ploy, who throws back, having taken it on the bounce. They go through for another single. 98 for 11 runs off the first Alex Hughes over. Northampton with Zabe on 41 and Neesham on 13. The partnership already worth 28. this partnership. 36 between Rob Keogh and Safe Zabe. So this one worth 28 from 21 deliveries. As Big George is back, George Scrimshaw. Will be his third over. 1 for 20, his figures so far. Picked up the wicket of Rob Keogh. Good catch. Ball in the air for a long time. Hayden Kerr with the catch. Batsmen have a chat. Fresh pair of gloves, bit of a wipe down. It is very warm out there. I'll tell you what, it was warm out there at 4:30. Sweltering. It will be cooling down now, but there's a lot of people enjoying the late evening sunshine here at the Incora County Ground. Here comes George Scrimshaw then from the city end. Bowls to Safe Zabe, who slashes it away for 6. Well, again, that's all to do with George Scrimshaw's pace, and if you throw the bat hard enough at a George Scrimshaw delivery, you've got half a chance of getting a 6. And that's exactly what Zabe has done there. It's his first maximum, and I know it's not a maximum. He moves on to 47, 104. The 100 is up, 104 for 4, Northamptonshire. Could have gone absolutely anywhere. When I say absolutely anywhere, I mean absolutely anywhere. In comes Scrimshaw again, bowls, and that one is turned straight back to him by Zabe. Dot ball. 34. Now the partnership, not far from being the best partnership of the innings. The Northamptonshire players who are yet to come in, and those who have been in a crowding around the dugout over on the far side of the ground. The smell of burgers and fries must be very tempting, I would have thought. In comes Scrimshaw, back into his crease goes Zabe, and he has a wild swing at that one and misses. Ball goes through to wicketkeeper Brooke Guest. Sam Connor's been given a drink by Anuj Dal away to our right hand side in front of the big scoreboard. Kerr 1 for 10 from 2 overs. Connors 1 for 24 from 2. Watt 1 for 14 from 2. Wayne Madsen 2 overs for 19. Alex Hughes has bowled 1 over for 11, and this is George Scrimshaw's third over, halfway through it. 1 for 26, his figures. And it looks as though he's going to come around the wicket. Now, he hasn't done this too many times, I don't think, off the top of my head. On his way in now, and bowls a full delivery, and it's driven back. He gets a hand to it as he hits the deck, and he does well to get down that quickly. They go through for a single. Zabe moves on to 48, 105 for 4 with 2 balls of the 12th over to go. Always very tricky for a big man like George Scrimshaw to get down as quickly as he got down there. Did well. He's bowling to Jimmy Neesham now. Neesham waits, Scrimshaw's bowling, and that one is guided, dabbed down to third man. A fine third man where Mark Watt does the fielding. Throws the ball in on the bounce to Brooke Guest. That game at Trent Bridge, almost at the end of 20 overs there. They're in the 20th over, and Leicestershire have won 58 for 9. You sort of get the impression that that might not be enough for the Foxes. Derbyshire at Trent Bridge on Thursday night. Here comes Scrimshaw around the wicket and bowls, and Zabe can do no more with that than play it straight back to George Scrimshaw. A good over, 8 from it, 106 for 4 at the end of 12 overs. The run rate 8.8. That won't concern Derbyshire too much. It looks like Wayne Madsen's going to get another over here though. Alex Hughes, having bowled 1 over for 11, is replaced by Wayne Madsen. He's pointing. He was in great form with Twiggy on the breakfast show on BBC Radio Derby this morning. He's always on pretty good form, Wayne Madsen. He's going to be bowling to a former teammate, Jimmy Neesham, who's on 14 from 10. 2 overs for 19 so far. Wayne Madsen. Current run rate 8.8 with 8 overs remaining. 64 runs or so Derbyshire can keep them down to that, they'll be happy. And the first delivery is turned into the leg side. Madsen's racing to the edge of the 30-yard circle, and they're going to come back for 2. Well played, Jimmy Neesham, nicely timed. Just pushing the ball into the leg side. Single taken. 108 for 4 now. Neesham up to 16. I do like to see that. The ball just placed towards the edge of the 30-yard circle. As a result, the batsmen get through for 2 fairly comfortably. 16 off 11, Neesham. Madsen bowls to him. Turn into the leg side again. I don't think he's timed this one quite as well. Madsen gets to the ball, and this time they cannot come back for the second. That's terrific work from Wayne Madsen. He's 38, you know. He's a remarkable athlete. Signed on for another season. He's having a word with Shan Masood now. Masood, who was a teammate, the Multan Sultans. I never know exactly how you say that. Multan, probably. In comes Madsen again now. Then this one's lifted down the ground. It's going to bounce just in front of Lear's deploy. Well, when I say just, probably 10 yards in front of Lear's deploy. Zaid picks up another single to move to 49, 110 for 4. 49 off 35. Safe Zaid. Madsen bowling to Neesham, bangs that one in, almost a bouncer, and Neesham clips it into the leg side for another single. 111 for 4. Neesham on to 18. Partnership now worth 41 off 31. Around the wicket comes Madsen, bowls to Zaid, who dances down the track. It's clipped into the leg side. They're thinking about coming back for the second. They will come back for the second, despite the fielding of Sam Connors, who's moved all the way around to the other side of the... Oh, it was Alex Hughes, I beg your pardon. Excellent work from Hughes. There's a half century for Saif Zaid. Of 36 balls. And the innings has included, I'll tell you in a minute, 5 fours and a 6. Wayne Madsen in again, and this one is clubbed down the ground. One bounced and hits the advertising boards down below the sight screen. It goes for a 4, and Zaid, he's finished the over with a boundary. 117 for 4, 11 runs off that one. We've just got to be careful here. I don't think we're panicking in any way. Batsmen toweling themselves down, and Mark Watt's going to return from the City end. He'll be bowling his 3rd over. 117 for 4 means that the run rate is exactly 9 and over. Could that be right? I suppose it can. We all know why he wears 51 now. Thanks to Stephen Brady. Jack Tart's 5, Hibby's 1. Scottish Cup final. 117 for 4 then. 7 overs to go. Mark Watt bowling to Jimmy Neesham, bowls, and that one is turned up towards a long on. They'll just stroll through for a single as Wayne Madsen does the fielding. Neesham moves on to 19, 118 for 4. They've now finished the first innings at Trent Bridge. Leicestershire 170, all out. In comes Mark Watt, gives this one a little bit more air, and it's turned into the leg side by Saif Zaid. No run as Watt comes around to do the fielding himself. Excellent bit of work. Chris Bridden points out we haven't seen Matty McKinnon yet this evening. You're absolutely right, Chris. Hadn't noticed, but you're right. Matty McKinnon is out there. In comes Watt, balls, and this one time is slapped over the top of the man at extra cover. Shan Masood for 4 runs out towards the dugouts. Zaid moves to 59 off 39 balls with his 7th 4. And Northamptonshire move on to 122 for 4 in the 14th over. Very spot from Chris there. He isn't warming up, but then again, it's not the kind of night where you need to warm up necessarily. What bowls again? That's pushed up towards long on. In off the boundary comes Wayne Madsen to do the fielding. Zabe picks up another single to move to 60. 123 for 4. Zabe has got a half century this season, but it was a 57 not outs. This is the high score of the season. That's a full toss from Mark Watlers, beaten down the ground. Oh, and almost caught in the far distance by Wayne Madsen. Put the dive in. 4 runs scored. Mark Watt, hands on head. He thinks, in fact, it's been changed to a 6 from a 4 by the 12th man down there, so he's going to get a 6 for that, is Jimmy Neesham. Yep, change of signal, and 6 is signalled. 129 for 4. Neesham moves on to 25 from 15 deliveries. What bowls to him, and that one is driven down the ground. Around the boundary goes Lewis Rees. Keeps them down to a single. 130 for 4 at the end of the over. 13 runs off that over. And at the moment, they could do with a wicket here, Derbyshire. Haven't had a wicket since the 8th over when George Scrimshaw removed Rob Keogh. Since then, we've seen Save Zabe go on to his half century, 50 off 36 balls. He's on 60 now. Jimmy Neesham has 26. Partnership worth 60 off 39. And here's Matty McKiernan. We were just talking about, Chris sent in the message saying we haven't seen Matty McKiernan. Well, here he is with his leg spin. 6 overs to go. I wonder if that's Matty McKiernan's music. I'd be surprised. Tosses himself a catch, blows into his hand, all the things that Matty McKiernan does before he comes in to bowl. And that one is an attempt to sweep. There's an appeal for leg before wicket. Very, very tentative from Matty McKiernan. It's a dot ball. I think Rob Bailey suggesting that not only pitched outside the leg stump, but would have missed the leg stump as well. We're not in line this evening. The pitch has moved over to the left. McKiernan in. That one is played with a bit more pace. It's slapped out up towards, horrible shot really, up towards a wide long on for a single by Neesham, who moves to 27. 131 for 4. They were 70 for 4. They're now 131 for 4, the Steelbacks. This is why they're near the top of the table. Derbyshire fighting hard here, though. McKiernan bowls, short delivery, pulled out into the leg side, fielded out there by Wayne Madsen, single taken. Zabe moves to 61, 133 for 4. Halfway through McKiernan's first over of the evening. He's in again. That one is a little flatter and pulled into the leg side again. Madsen will field it on the boundary's edge. Another single taken. 133 for 4. Neesham on to 28. It's Safe Zabe on strike now. McKiernan bowls to him and he drives that down the ground. Rees will move around to do the fielding. 134 for 4. Zabe on to 62. No Lewis Rees bowling today. Bowled in the championship match. Hasn't bowled in T20 cricket, I don't think, this season. I'll check in a moment. McKiernan is in and now. Then there's a thumping and he's gone. Neesham couldn't help himself, missed the ball, and Brooke Guest has his 12th victim of the season and sets a new Derbyshire T20 record. He stumped Jimmy Neesham for 28 off 20 deliveries, I beg your pardon. He hit a 6. In fact, he hit no 4s and 2 6s. Derbyshire really didn't need that wicket. 134 for 5. Just couldn't help himself, Jimmy Neesham. And Matty McKiernan, in his first over, takes a wicket and concedes 4 runs. 134 for 5 with 5 overs to go. update for Radio Derby listeners fairly soon. Who we're going to see bowl now? It's Hayden Kerr, I think. It is indeed. 2 overs, 1 for 10, Hayden Kerr. New batsman is Tom Taylor. Be at the non-striker's end. Kerr's deep in conversation with his skipper, Shan Masood, as to where he wants his fielders outside the circle, pretty much. He's going to push Alex Hughes out, is he? No, he's going to push George Scrimshaw back to fine leg on the boundary. Third man's up on the edge. That's Mark Watt. Just to his left is Alex Hughes. There's a man out on the point boundary. It looks like Anuj Dal is out there to me. So Hayden Kerr then on his way in from the city and left arm over, bowls to Saif Zaib, who turns it into the leg side for a single. They're going to come back for 2, are they? No, they're not. 135 for 5. Looks like Dahl out there. He's a long way away. Can't quite work out who he's on in the place of. So Tom Taylor, who's yet to face a delivery. And Hayden Kerr bowls his first delivery to him on his way in and bowls, and Taylor pushes that up. Oh, that's a good piece of fielding by Kerr. Just for a moment, it looked like it might get past him, but it didn't. Dot ball. And they've just picked up an important wicket, Martin. Jimmy Neesham, the former Derbyshire man, stumped by Brooke Guest after bowling of Matty McKinnon. He couldn't help himself, danced down the track, missed the ball. Guest did the rest. His 12th dismissal this season, the wicketkeeper. That's a new Derbyshire T20 Blast record. And as a result, with Saif Zaib still out there on 63 from 43, and Tom Taylor just off the mark with a single. Northamptonshire are 136 for 5 with 4 overs and 3 balls left to go. So a single to Taylor gets him off the mark. It brings Saif Zaib back on to strike on 63. How Derbyshire would like to remove him. 136 for 5. In comes Kerr. A little step towards the leg side. Zaib taps it down. Fielded by Scrimshaw at short third man. Overly excited. Oh dear, I shouldn't have left it there though. Overly excited at getting a chocolate bar with my sandwiches today. But it's now liquid chocolate. I don't know if that's because, yeah, I put it on the transformer of the television. That wasn't a clever idea. And it'll probably take in this temperature about a week before it's solid again. Here comes Hayden Kerr in and bowls to Taylor, who drives very nicely. Beautiful shot up towards long off for a single, where it's fielded in the far distance by Shan Masood. And it's 138 for 5 now. And again, we have another little quiet period as Mark Watt trots down the field at fine leg on the boundary down below us. I wonder if he'll play again in the Derbyshire Red Ball side starting at home on Sunday. If he does, I hope they've got a shirt with his number on the back and his name. Kerr is in, bowls to Saif Zaib, but just dabs it into the ground. Excellent work from Hayden Kerr. Really good over. 4 runs off that one, 138 for 5 at the end of it. Derbyshire did this to Yorkshire. Didn't quite do it at Birmingham, but they have these little spells where they can just put the squeeze on. Matty McKinnon, who got a wicket in his previous over, was going to continue from the racecourse end. It was something like 20. I'm probably going to get it wrong, but it's like 21 for 5 in the last 5 overs, Yorkshire at Chesterfield, as they were bowled out for 175. And that's part of the no panic approach that Derbyshire have this season. If a side looks like they're getting away, there is no panic. 138 for 5, run rate 8.6. So they'll be looking for another 32 runs, which would take them to 170 at the current rate. Derbyshire can keep them below that. That would be terrific work. Matty McKiernan then in and bowls to Tom Taylor, who goes for the reverse sweep. Is it going to be caught by Scrimshaw? No, it's gone over his head. He's just about got enough bat on that as Tom Taylor. Well, I'm fairly certain I didn't see play a reverse sweep when he was a Derbyshire player. Alex Hughes has only just added one to his repertoire. And he moves on to 6 from 4 deliveries and the Steelbacks to 142 for 5. I don't think McKiernan will be too worried by that. As a result, the man at cover on the boundary has gone to backward point on the boundary. And we've got a cover on the edge of the 30-yard circle. Extra cover as well as McKiernan is in, and Taylor comes down the track and pushes this one up towards long off. In comes Leas to ploy off the boundary to do the fielding. Single taken, Taylor the 7, 143 for 5. McKiernan blowing into his hands, just force of habit, because he's not trying to warm them up, he's trying to cool them down. He's in and bowls to Zabe. Now this one's gone straight up in the air. Is that going to go anywhere near George Scrimshaw? No, it's not. And that one's going to go all the way to the boundary as well. That's a complete miss-hit from Safe Zabe, and he picks up 4 runs for it. And that's the one thing I really don't like about T20 cricket, is the miss-hits are rewarded with runs. He moves to 68, 146 for 5, and 147 for 5, rather. Call me an old curmudgeon if you like. You wouldn't be the first. 147 for 5, Zabe on to 68. McKiernan in and bowls to him, and this has gone in the same direction, and again, same result, but in fact, a better result for Northamptonshire, because that's gone all the way for 6. And McKiernan, who bowled a really miserly first over, is going the distance at the moment, 1 for 19 now off 10 deliveries. Having bowled his first over for just 4 runs, Shan Masood's having a word with him. Got the stumping. Unfortunately, since then has struggled a bit. And he's been hit for 2 4s and a 6 already in this over. Again, he blows into his hand. He's on his way in now from the race course and bowls to Zabe, but this time dances down the track. That's coming my way. It's going to go over the man at long off, and it is all the way for 6 more. Zabe moves on to 80 from 48 balls. He and Tom Taylor have a conversation in the middle of the pitch. The Steelbacks move to 159 for 5 now. They need to get rid of Zabe, and they need to get rid of him quickly, Derbyshire. Otherwise, they might be on the end of a century here. McKiernan in again. He comes down the track and pushes it up towards out towards mid-wicket. They're going to come. No, they're not going to come back for the second, because it is Anoj Dal out there in the distance who comes in and does the fielding. Excellent work, as you'd expect from Anoj Dal. And that was a punishing over for Derbyshire. 22 runs off it, 160 for 5 with 3 to go. Big George is back. The last thing you need is an over that goes for 22. I think he went for 22. 160 for 5 from 138 for 5. Feels like 22 to me. Scrimshaw is going to be bowling to Safe Zabe. 181. Around the wicket he comes and bowls to him, and again, he didn't know much about that one as he pulled it into the leg side. They're going to come back for a second, or they know they're not. Lewis Deploy got in there quickly and managed to keep them down to a single. It brings Taylor back on to strike 82 to Zabe now, 161 for 5. 6, 12, 13, 14, 18, 22, indeed. 22 off the over. My computer catches up. 81, 82 off 50 balls. Next highest score, 28 from Jimmy Neesham off 20. No 4s and 2 6s. Right, such a Jimmy Neesham innings. Here comes Scrimshaw then, in and bowls to Taylor, who guides this away down towards backward point. He beat the man at point, who was Lears to play. Guess who's keeping it inside the field of play. Excellent work from Sam Connors. They do get back for 3, but he saved another one. That's 5 runs he saved already in this game, minimum. Sam Connors away to our right-hand side. 1 for 32, though, George Scrimshaw in his final over. 4 balls of it to go. 164 for 5. So I'm dancing around in my chair because you won't believe this. But I bent down to stick a plug in a socket and ricked me back earlier. Here comes pathetic Scrimshaw. Now then, that one's been pulled into the leg side by Safe Zabe for a single, and off the boundary comes Lears deploy. Zabe moves to 83, 165 for 5. 14 deliveries to go. Keep them to 180, Derbyshire. Very much in this game still. The Falcons, the Steelbacks battling hard. 165 for 5. That's bowled him. George Scrimshaw has bowled Tom Taylor. It was an inside edge onto his pad and then onto the stumps, I think, but well, Scrimshaw won't care. Taylor goes for 10 off 7. And George Scrimshaw has a second. Not a happy return to the county ground for Tom Taylor. 165 for 6 now. Another wicket for Scrimshaw, whose figures are 2 for 33 from 3 overs and 4 balls. Again, just chipping away with the wickets. Just keep chipping away with those wickets. Northampton's clearly unaware of what a good score is on this pitch here at the county ground. None of us know, let's face it. None of us know. New batsman is Freddie Heldrick. No, it's not. I beg your pardon. It's Lewis McManus, the wicket-keeper. Beg your pardon, Lewis McManus out there to join Safe Zabe. He's been out there a long, long time. Since the second wicket fell with a score on 24, it's been a terrific innings from Safe Zabe. 83 not out from 51 balls. And the run rate remains over 9 and over. Can Derbyshire keep it below 9 and over? Scrimshaw sets off in and bowls to McManus. Full delivery, clipped into the leg side. He'll pick up a single off the first ball he faces. McKiernan does the fielding out there in the leg side. 166 for 6 with 13 deliveries to go. Playing netball tomorrow night as well, so I have to be careful of my back tomorrow. A lot of sitting down in my job. Too much in all probability. 166 for 6. A lot of waffling and talking about nothing too. Here comes Scrimshaw again around the wicket. That's a good delivery. Goes over the stumps and Zabe can do nothing with it. It was a rapid delivery, it's fair to say. And 6 runs off the over. 166 for 6 at the end of it. 4 overs, 2 for 34 George Scrimshaw finishes with. And we've got 12 deliveries left, and Mark Watt is going to bowl the first 6 of those 12. Over number 19. 3 overs, 1 for 27. And it'll be bowling to Lewis McManus, the new man. Earlier on, picked up the wicket of Ben Curran, caught by Lewis recently into the 30-yard circle for 3. Connors got rid of Chris Lynn for 5 in an expensive first over, which he also conceded 17 runs. All has been forgiven though, because he's clawed a lot of those back with his boundary riding. Here comes Mark Watt then. I think we've seen a 24-yarder yet. That's a full delivery. Almost Yorks McManus. Gets bat on it but can do absolutely nothing with it. And around from behind the stumps comes wicketkeeper Brooke Guest to do the fielding. 166 for 6 with 11 to go. Watt is in again, bowls. That one is a ball outside the off stump. It gets away from Brooke Guest, and they go through for a bye. Now that might be very interesting, because in no other game have Derbyshire conceded 10 extras, and now they've conceded 11, 8 wides, 2 for the no ball. I'm not suggesting that they're in any way ill-disciplined, because that's still a pretty good effort. 167 for 6. Zabe is on his backside. Ricardo Vasconcelos is in the box next to us. I wonder if that brought any flashbacks when Zabe was dumped on his backside by Mark Watt. Vasconcelos dumped onto his backside by Lockie Ferguson. The difference in pace, probably around about 40 miles an hour. In comes Watt again. That was a dot ball, and this time he gets it off the toe end of his bat, pushes it out into the leg side. McKinnon comes in off the boundary to do the fielding. 168 for 6 with 10 deliveries to go. Been a terrific penultimate over so far from Mark Watt. Who's in again around the wicket, bowls. That's slapped down the ground. There is a long off. It's Wayne Madsen. They take a single. McManus moves to 2. 169 for 6. No heads dropped or shoulders drooped for Derbyshire here. 7 deliveries left. Watt is in. That one is driven along the ground towards long off, and Lewis Rees will come in off the boundary to do the fielding. Zabe moves to 85. McManus has 2. 170 for 6 at the end of the over. Just 4 off that over from Mark Watt. A terrific effort. It was a bye and 3 singles. And it's going to be Hayden Kerr, I think, to bowl the final over. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 14. Remember, Yorkshire bowled out for 174. Here's Hayden Kerr, number 50 on his back, the Australian all-rounder, left armour. He's going to be bowling to safe Zabe. He's 15 away from a century. I think that's too far, surely. Surely that's too far. Don't speak too soon, Fletcher, for goodness sake. Here comes Kerr over the wicket, bowls to safe Zabe, who launches this for 6. That's massive, absolutely massive. Perhaps it isn't too far. He moves into the 90s. Zabe on to 91. 176 for 6. That was a big blow. He set himself, and Kerr obliged with the delivery. Not sure it was his finest moment. Notts 20 for 1 in the 4th over, chasing 171 to beat Leicestershire at Trent Bridge. In comes Kerr. That's a better delivery. Fuller clipped out into the leg side. Connors is in off the boundary, throws the ball in quickly, and it's going to keep Zabe off strike. He goes through for a single, moves to 92, 177 for 6 with 4 deliveries left. Give you the other bowlers' figures during this over. Sam Connors 2 overs, 1 for 24. Mark Watt 4 overs, 1 for 30. Wayne Madsen 3 overs for 30. George Scrimshaw 4 overs, 2 for 34. Alex Hughes bowled 1 over for 11. And Matty McKinnon 2 overs, 1 for 26. The time is 2019. And the cut-off time is 2019. 4 balls left. 177 for 6. Lewis McManus on strike. The field just changing around a little bit. They got to their where they needed to be for the cut-off, so they can do what they want now. As Kerr is in, and that one is guided into the offside. There's a single taken as the ball is picked up by Leas deploy, a backward point. McManus moves to 3. 178 for 6 with 2 balls to go. 2 boundaries would take Zabe to a century. It's his highest score in T20 cricket already. Hayden Kerr trying to stop him. 178 for 6. Kerr bowls. That's a good delivery. It comes off his pads. It is going to be leg byes, and it's going to be one leg bye. They're going to come back for the second. He might be out. Is he out? He is out. They get a single. Zabe goes for 93. Does pick up one of the singles. 179 for 7 now, and it's been a terrific innings from Zabe. He wanted to be on strike for the final ball of the innings, but as it is, he's walking off looking a little disconsolate. He shouldn't do, because that was a terrific knock. 93 off 58 balls with 8 4s and 4 6s. Another wicket for Hayden Kerr. He's got 2 for 22 from 3 overs and 3 balls. Derbyshire will be chasing around about 180 at 9 and over. They are more than capable of chasing that. 179 for 7. Graham White is the new batsman, and he'll be on strike for the final ball of the innings. What a thankless task. In comes Hayden Kerr, bowls to White, who plays it straight back towards him. There's going to be a sliding stop there from Shan Masood. White finishes on 1, and the innings comes to an end at 180 for... So it isn't the last ball. Why wasn't it the last ball? You half-wit, Fletcher. It wasn't the last ball because there was a wicket. Yeah, no, I'm miscounting. That's why it wasn't. Here we go. Last ball of the innings. It comes at this next delivery. That's played down the ground for 6. That is a big blow onto the top of the sight screen at the far end. 186 for 7. The innings comes to an end. 16 off that over. 186 for 7. So an expensive over. Safe Zabe was run out. McManus, well, he finishes on 9. And Graham White on 1. Northampton 186 for 7. The final figures for Hayden Kerr: 4 overs, 1 for 29, and Derbyshire will need 187 to win this one when we return. It's a tall order, but they will be confident. The batting has gone pretty well. They scored 105 in 10 overs to beat Yorkshire at Chesterfield. Can they get 187 to beat the Steelbacks at the Incora County Ground and move up to second equal in the Northern Group table? We shall find out in the fullness of time. We'll be back online by the BBC Sport website and app, and on the Derbyshire Cricket Club stream in 8 or 9 minutes' time.
Sponsors, both principal Marley and Incora, the Global Aerospace and Defence Industry Supply Chain Service, Stevens Match Sponsors, the State Company, as well as Match Ball Sponsors, Small Groups. Thank you to all for your support once again in regards to County Cricket Club this evening. The next meeting now for Stevens Match will be a post-match signing session with regards to players and taking place in the dressing rooms. So grab those autograph sheets and get a few signatures from the local chambers.
Hello, Martin. Sorry, I've just returned. The players have been off and they're just coming back now, and I was miles away. Absolutely miles away. Northamptonshire Steelbacks. 186 for 7 they made. It's going to be Derbyshire's 4th highest successful run chase if they win this game, which shows you the magnitude of the task ahead of them. A superb innings from Saif Zaib. He made 93 off 58 balls, 8 fours and 4 sixes. Terrific knock from him. George Scrimshaw picked up a couple more wickets. There was a stumping for Brooke Guest, which means he now has 12 dismissals for the season, which breaks his own record, which he set last season. The Derbyshire openers are on their way out. They need 187 to win this one. So almost missed that one completely. Welcome back. That's probably what I should have said first of all to everybody listening online and via the BBC Sport website and app and the Derbyshire stream. The Derbyshire openers, Shan Masood and Lewis Rees, come out with the shadows stretching right the way across the Incora County Ground playing area. It looks as though Tom Taylor is going to bowl the first over, is he? No, he's not. Going to see spin the first over, so it'll be Josh Cobb. Of course it's Josh Cobb. Who else would it be? 187 the target. Josh Cobb, who didn't do an awful lot with the bat. Start the bowling from the racecourse and the Northamptonshire skipper. Earlier on made 17 before Hayden Kerr bowled him. And it will be Shan Masood who always takes the first ball, the skipper. Got the Duckworth Lewis Pars as well there, so we can keep an eye on that. 9.35 runs and over is what they require. Well, they went to 10s against Yorkshire at Chesterfield to score 105 in 10 overs. Let's see what happens here. Josh Cobb is in and bowls. That one is pushed into the leg side. First ball by Shan Masood. They're going to go through for a single, and Derbyshire up and running in their reply to 186 for 7. That's Six, that six off the final ball by Lewis McManus. Will that come back to bite Derbyshire? One without loss. Around the wicket comes Cobb, bowls to Rees, who sweeps but straight to the man at backward square leg, and there's no run. Northant's nice and loud out there, as you might expect. Next delivery is turned into the leg side for a single. Again, Rees runs the first one really quickly, but there isn't a second available. As in off the boundary comes Graham White to do the fielding, I beg your pardon. Two without loss. Masood on strike. Cobb bowls to him, and that one is driven slightly unconvincingly. He wants a single. He's going to get a single as well as the ball is played up to Ben Sanderson, who touches the ball for the first time in the game. Three without loss. Scoreboard appears to have stopped. This one is wide down the leg side. Score up to 4 without loss. Around the wicket comes Cobb, and it's going to be played straight back to him by Lewis Rees, and he has gone caught and bowled in the first over. That's going to make it harder for Derbyshire. Lewis Rees goes. Simple catch for Josh Cobb. Rees made one from the 4 deliveries he faced, and Derbyshire at the end of the first over are 4 for 1. That is a huge blow for Derbyshire. Josh Cobb with a wicket in the first over and just 4 runs conceded. It's going to take some getting his 187. That's the last thing they needed. The new batsman is Hayden Kerr, and it isn't the last ball of the over either. What is going on here? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had a wide, didn't we? We had a wide, I beg your pardon. It is 4 for 1. And Hayden Kerr's come out to bat in the power play, as he did at Northampton, I think, if my memory serves. Josh Cobb in on bowls to him, and he drives that out into the offside, and there's no run. And it is 4 for 1 at the end of the first over. 4 runs from it. Not the start Derbyshire were hoping for, not the start Lewis Rees was hoping for. Hayden Kerr promoted up the order. So Derbyshire's 2 overseas are out there in the middle. Kerr sent out as a almost as a pinch hitter in the first game between the sides. It didn't really come off from memory. What did he make? Ben Sanderson's going to bowl the first over from the city, and he made 29 off 22 before he was caught by Graham White off Jimmy Neesham. Sanderson will be bowling to Shan Masood. They've got a slip in place. That's Ben Curran. And Sanderson is in. It's turned into the leg side by Masood. There might be 2 here. They're going to turn and come back for a second. There might even be 3. No, there'll just be 2. 6 for 1. Very quiet inside the ground. After the fall of that wicket. The word pressure shouted by one of the fielders. Sanderson, shortish run into the stumps and balls to Masood, chops it away into the offside. Goes for the first one quickly. They think about coming back for the second, but think again as the ball is fielded there by Freddie Heldrick out in the deep. 7 for 1. Masood on to 5. Kerr yet to get off the mark. Lewis Rees already out. Caught and ball by Josh Cobb for 1. You could hear a pin drop inside the Incora County Ground at the moment. Hayden Kerr waits. Sanderson bowls to him and he drives it up to mid-off, and there's no run. They look nice and lively out there, Northamptonshire, at the moment. Derbyshire already 10 behind Duckworth Lewis. Sanderson turns at the top of his mark, halfway through his first over, the second of the Derbyshire innings. That one is pushed out into the offside by Hayden Kerr. They've run the first one quickly, and they're going to be kept down to a single as around goes Rob Keogh to do the fielding. Throws the ball in, not taken cleanly by Lewis McManus. 8 for 1, Kerr off the mark. End of the second over. Northamptonshire Steelbacks were 24 for 1. Derbyshire, with 2 balls of the second over to go, are 8 for 1. Time to make it up, but already there. A little behind the rate to Sanderson bowls, and it's driven straight down the ground by Shan Masood for the first boundary, and that'll relieve some of the tension inside the ground. You can hear what it means to the home supporters. He barely seemed to push that up towards a straightish mid-off when Madsen on the big screen signals the boundary. Masood moves to 9 and Derbyshire to 12 for 1 with 1 ball of the second over still to go. Bit of Lady Gaga, I think, now. 12 for 1. Don't ask me how I know. Sanderson bowls. That one is turned up towards mid-off off a leading edge. They go through for a single. It was a slightly risky one, but he made it safely enough, and Masood's into double figures. End of the over, 9 from it, 13 for 1 Derbyshire. Josh Cobb with the early wicket, getting rid of Lewis. Reese Corton bowled for just the single. And Josh Cobb's going to give himself another over, and why not, from the racecourse end. Cobb this season, that was his 10th wicket. He's the 5th player to get into double figures. 12 for Tom Taylor and Ben Sanderson, and 10 each for Jimmy Neesham and Freddie Heldrick. 9 for Josh Cobb, 8 for Graham White. Plenty of contributions from the bowlers for Northamptonshire this season. Cobb then around the wicket to bowl to the Derbyshire skipper Shan Masood, who goes back into the leg side and chops it out into the off. Tom Taylor fields it at extra cover, dot ball. Cobb again bowls, and this time he's given the charge by Shan Masood, who can only push it up to Jimmy Neesham at long on. Masood on to 11 for 8, 14 for 1. Taylor drops out to the long on boundary for the right-hander. The other man out on the boundary is at mid-wicket. Cobb is in, and this one is pulled out to that man at mid-wicket. It was Rob Keogh, and they go through for another single. Kerr doubles his score. He moves on to 215 for 1. 58 for 3 at the end of the power play. Northamptonshire Steelbacks. This is over number 3, halfway through it. Derbyshire 15 for 1. Cobb in, and that one is down the leg side and wide. Ooh, came off the pad according to the umpire. Well, he did signal straight away, Rob Bailey, that it had come off a pad. He's got away with one there as Josh Cobb. 15 for 1 it remains. This one is pushed out into the offside. They scamper through for another single as it's fielded by Taylor. It isn't fielded by Taylor. His teammate Rob Keogh steps in front of him and picks the ball up first. Masood moves on to 12, 16 for 1. Kerr taps his bat weights, and this one is in the air. He might get away with this one. He has got away with this one. They're going to come back for a second. Yes, Kerr says we'll have 2 there, and he does get back for the second. It came off a very thick outside edge, Hayden Kerr. He moves on to 4 at the end of the over. 5 runs from that one. 18 for 1 now, Derbyshire. 3 overs gone. Run rate is 6 and over. The required rate is a touch under 10. Still manageable, but only just. I refuse to be pessimistic. I genuinely refuse to be pessimistic. Here's Tom Taylor to bowl over number 4 from the city end. 2 overs, 1 for 9. Sanderson 1 over for 9. Derbyshire 18 for 1. Taylor is in, and that's turned down the leg side off a pad. I fancy by Shan Masood. Now there was some bat in that, according to Steve O'Shaughnessy. Shan Masood moves on to 13, 19 for 1. Not to be too much bat involved. Taylor did just raise his hands to his face. So perhaps it was the inside, little tickle inside edge that saved Shan Masood from a big LBW appeal. He's in now to bowl to the Australian Hayden Kerr, is Taylor, and Kerr launches it down the ground. That looks like a decent shot. It's going to go all the way for 6. That is a decent shot from Hayden Kerr. He got hold of that one all right. He gets the first 6 of the innings, moves into double figures himself. He's on 10, Derbyshire up to 25 for 1 in the 4th over. That sounded beautiful off the bat. Then the man at mid-on turned and chased. At which point you get slightly concerned that he hasn't got all of it, but he did. 10 from 6, 25 for 1 in the 4th over. Taylor in again, and this one is just guided down to backward point where it's straight into the hands of Graham White, and there's no run. Slowly catching up with DLS, 25 for 1. At this stage, they should be 29 to be par. When they lost the wicket, they fell an awful long way behind. I mean, an awful long way behind. Taylor turns at the top of his mark at the far end of the ground. He's on his way in and bowls to Kerr, who gets an edge down towards third man. That'll go all the way for 4. Chris Lynn starts to chase, then gives up, and Kerr moves to 14. Derbyshire up to 29 for 1 with 2 balls of the 4th over to go. And all of a sudden it's slightly more relaxed in Incora County Ground as the run rate moves up to 8 and over, and the required rate just drops down to 9.7. 29 for 1. In comes Taylor again, bowls to Kerr, who guides this one out into the offside. It'll be fielded by the man coming in off the cover boundary, Rob Keogh. They go through for another single. Kerr to 15. Masood has 13. Derbyshire 30 for 1 with 1 ball of over number 4 to go. After the shock of losing Lewis Rees in the 1st over, caught and bowled by Josh Cobb for just 1. I'm not sure whether the ball just stopped on him a little bit. No reason why it should. It looks like a good pitch. Taylor is in to bowl to Shan Masood, who tries to turn this away down the leg side. That's called wide. 31 for 1 with 1 ball of the 4th over to go. Are you watching Rob? That's aimed at Rob Bailey. Well, he clearly signalled that the ball had come off the trouser leg of Shan Masood when the wide wasn't given when Josh Cobb was bowling. Fair play to Rob Bailey for letting the whole crowd know, really. Masood waits. Taylor is in, and he pushes this one straight back to him. There's a shy at the stumps from Taylor that misses. I think Masood was home anyway. End of the over. 31 for 1. 13 runs off the over from Tom Taylor. At the same stage, after 4 overs, they were 36 for 3, the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. Derbyshire 31 for 1 with Masood on 13, and Kerr clearly sent into pinch hit on 15 from 9. Here's Jimmy Neesham for the first time this evening. So back-to-back overs from former Derbyshire players here at the Incora County Ground. I called him Jimmy, excellent work. I thought he might go with James, but everybody calls him Jimmy. I think he was man of the match in the first game I commentated on at T20 cricket here at the Incora County Ground. Certainly one of the very early games I commentated on. Now he's bowling from the racecourse end to Australian Hayden Kerr, who's on 15. Neesham is in, and that strikes the pad. They're going to go through for a leg bye. bit high for an appeal. There was a half appeal from Lewis McManus behind the stumps, but just looked a bit high from here. Nothing from Neesham. Always looks weary. He always looks very weary, Jimmy Neesham. If you don't follow him on Twitter, follow him because he's very, very entertaining. A very good cricketer to boot. $71 for 3 now, Nottinghamshire against Leicestershire. In comes Neesham and bowls. That one is slapped into the offside. They're going to go through for a single. It was a miss-hit, really, from Shan Masood. Ben Curran races in, but can't pick the ball up clearly. They do get through for a single. 33 for one. Masood on to 14. Yeah, Notts, 73 for 3, chasing 171 to win. So they need 98 runs from 58 deliveries. You wouldn't necessarily put it past them to do it. But that would surely spell the end of their hopes of getting through to the knockout stages, Nottinghamshire, if they were to lose at home to Leicestershire. Here comes Neesham, then bowling to Hayden Kerr. He's in now, and Kerr gets wrapped on the pads, no run. Going down leg side again, no appeal. 33 for 1 it remains. They just fall a little bit behind DLS, should be on 36. It's not going to rain, but that's just an indication, very good indication of where Derbyshire need to be. He's having a conversation with Josh Cobb now, is Jimmy Neesham, and he calls the man down on the backward point boundary in to the edge of the 30-yard circle and pushes the man out on the edge of the 30-yard circle in the leg side out to mid-wicket. There's a backward square leg as well. There, the two men outside the circle as Neesham goes in and bowls to Kerr, who drives it straight down the ground. Nice shot, but hit it sufficiently hard to get it past Ben Sanderson, who gets his body behind that, wears it on his chest in the end. 34 for 1 now. Kerr on to 16. I keep looking to my left to check that I haven't switched the effects microphone off, but I haven't. It is still on. It's just very quiet inside the county ground. We've had 2 4s and 1 6. 34 for 1. We're in the 5th over. 2 deliveries of the 5th over still to be bowled. Jimmy Neesham is in again and bowls to Masood. Tries to flick this one away down the leg side. It's a wide. And Rob Bailey gets an extra special cheer as Derbyshire moved to 35. Well, that's harsh. He's a top man, Rob Bailey. Steve O'Shaughnessy, well, I was going to say square leg, but he's at point because he's got his back to the setting sun. He's starting to disappear from all parts of the ground now. The floodlights will start to have some kind of effect at some point. As Neesham goes in to try to bowl the 6th over, or the 5th over of this, the 5th ball of this over, and it's slapped away into the offside. They'll come back for a second. There was a dive put in there by Graham White, who now rubs his elbow because that would have hurt. He's on the square on the edge of the 30-yard circle. Masood moves to 16 from 14, 37 for 1. You can't win the game in the power play, but boy oh boy can you lose it. At the moment Derbyshire are just playing it nice and steady. 37 for 1 as we approach the end. The final ball, assuming it's legitimate, of the 5th over. Neesham around the wicket, bowls to Masood, turns it into the leg side. They'll pick up another single. 7 runs from the over. 38 for 1 after 5. 47 for 3 at the same stage, Northamptonshire. So Derbyshire won't be too disappointed, I'm sure, as they had to rebuild following the loss very early of Lewis Rees inside the 1st over. Caught and ball by Josh Cobb for 1. Hayden Kerr 16 from 12. Shan Masood 17 from 15. Ben Sanderson returns. He bowled over number 2 from the City, and he's going to bowl over number 6 as well. Final over of power play, at the end of which the visitors were 58 for 3. Derbyshire 38 for 1. Sanderson around the wicket, bowls to Masood down the leg side. That'll be a wide, and they'll go through for an extra run as well. In fact, they might come back for a second. They are. So that'll be 3 runs, and he hasn't even started the over. Oh, it's leg byes. So it's 2 leg byes. They have started the over, and Derbyshire are 40 for 1. I was convinced that was going to be wide. 2 leg byes to start the over. They'll take that. 2 a ball gets them home comfortably. Sanderson bowls, short delivery. It's pulled into the leg side by Shamasuda. Gets a tap on the back from Sanderson as he goes through for the single. Don't think he got hold of that one particularly well. Shan Masudi moves to 18 from 17, 41 for 1. There were quiet spells in the Northamptonshire innings as well. I think it's fair to say the required rate is now exactly 10 and over. The run rate's up to 7.7 that Derbyshire are going at. In comes Sanderson and bowls to Hayden Kerr, who slaps that straight back over his head, 2 bounces and into the advertising boards at the far end for 4. Nice shot from Hayden Kerr, bit of a flat bat, but effective nonetheless. He moves to 20 from 13 and Derbyshire to 45 for 1 with 3 balls of the power play still to go. Interesting shot from Hayden Kerr. Knots now 80 for 4. They did 91 off 48 balls. This next delivery is short. Oh, huge from Hayden Kerr. Out to the mid-wicket area and 6. Banged in by Ben Sanderson. And Kerr was onto it in a flash. That was massive. Out towards the car park. People queuing up for an ice cream would have been there, fearing being hit by the ball. It bounced away. It's finally been thrown back. Kerr moves on to 26 from 14. It's 51 for 1 with 2 balls of the power play still to go. That was a big hit from Hayden Kerr. I think we're going to need a new ball as well. That one will have hit the tarmac. The 12th man can't. Oh, it's not, beg his pardon. It's not the 12th man at all. I think it's Jimmy Neesham out there. Couldn't find the bag of replacement balls, so we are going to need a new ball. That one has been scuffed up by the tarmac in the car park away to the far side. Might even have bounced into the burgers and fries van, who knows. Kerr 26 from 14, 2 4s and 2 6s. Shan Masood going along nicely at 18 off 17 balls, 51 for 1 with 2 balls left of the power play. Just looking back at that game at Trent Bridge, Notts in a bit of trouble there. They need 89 from 46 balls, so they're after 12 and over already. They're 82 for 4 in the 13th, chasing 171 to beat Leicestershire. That would be a terrific effort from Leicestershire if they could beat Nottinghamshire on their own patch. Here is Sanderson then. 2 balls of the power play to go, and that one is a full delivery that's clipped into the leg side by Hayden Kerr. They're going to come back comfortably for 2 more. There's the applause for the 2. Supporters love a 2. Kerr moves on to 28, 53 for 1. Kerr has a look round at the scoreboard, sees he's on 28 from 15. The partnership is worth 49 from 30 deliveries. 53 for 1. Sanderson is in, full delivery, pushed out into the offside by Kerr. They'll go through for the singlets. The half-century stand between Shan Masood and Hayden Kerr, and it's the end of the power play at 54 for 1. At the same stage, Northamptonshire were 58 for 3. 31 deliveries for the 50 stand between Masood, who's got 18, and Kerr, who's got 29. 16 runs off that over, including that big 6 out towards the ice cream van in the car park. And we're going to see, now from memory, I'll have to look at these figures actually, but Freddie Heldrick bowled really nicely in the game down at Wantage Road. Didn't concede too many. Let's have a look, see what his final figures were. 4 overs for 20, picked up a couple of wickets as well. I knew he'd bowled well. It was a disappointing performance on that occasion from Derbyshire. Kerr has moved up to 29. He's on strike now as Heldrick bowls to him, and he pulls this into the leg side. He's going to be caught. He is caught. First ball outside the power play. It's been caught in the deep. It was a fairly comfortable catch as well for Graham White. And the first ball that Freddie Heldrick bowls, he picks up a wicket. Kerr goes for 29 off 17, 2 4s and 2 6s. That's disappointing. Here comes Wayne Madsen. Derbyshire 54 for 2 now. Have a look. Have a look. Nobody has a look anymore. Tim Singleton looking forward to a good finish here. He says, well, he keeps on. His family's haplessness at Glastonbury. It's a regular thing, he says. Thank you, Tim. Hayden Kerr out for 29. Equals his high score of the season. Wayne Madsen, who saw Derbyshire over the line nearly against Birmingham, is in. This one is clipped into the leg side. They go through for a comfortable single. Am I saying nearly? It was eventually. Where's all my bits and pieces? There's all sorts of bits and pieces here. There's stuff everywhere. As Madsen off the mark with a single first delivery that he faced. 55 for 2. Heldrick bowling to Shan Masood for the first time, and Masood just drives it very pleasantly down the ground for a single. You could hear Wayne Madsen shout, no, no, no. 55 he made before he was caught by Paul Sterling. Brilliant catch, actually, off the bowling of Wally Stone after adding 89 with Shan Masood. Edgbaston, Masood's on to 19 from 18 now. 56 for 2 as Heldrick is in again over the wicket. Left arm, the sweep comes out. Big appeal for leg before, wicket not out, says Rob Bailey. They're firing him off next door in the Radio Northampton box. Doesn't mind a reverse. Wayne Madsen, as we all know. Will he do it again? No, he won't. He turns that one into the leg side. Now, there might be 2 here. They're going to run one. Nope, there's only a single. He's in off the boundary. Comes Graham White, the man who took the catch to dismiss Hayden Kerr. There will be an update coming up for FM listeners fairly soon. 57 for 2. Heldrick, very full delivery, is driven down the ground towards Tom Taylor for a single by Shan Masood. He moves on to 20 from 19 deliveries, in Derbyshire of 58 for 2. 62 for 3 at the end of 7 overs, where just 4 off that over and a wicket. So 62 for 3. There was a 10-run over after that. Here's Tom Taylor. First over went for 13. So it will be Taylor from the City end with the permanent temporary stand behind him. People huddling across to the left to try and get the last of the evening sunshine, which is almost, well, it has completely disappeared from the playing surface now. Beautiful evening though here at the Incora County Ground. And here comes Tom Taylor into bowl to Derbyshire skipper Shan Masood. Masood cuts that one away for 4. 62 for 2. Glorious shot from Shan Masood. He moves on to 24 from 20 deliveries with only his second boundary. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Chat to Martin now. Yeah, we're in the 8th over here, Martin. Derbyshire chasing 187 to win, which will be their 4th highest successful run chase. Remember, a 62 for 2. Shan Masood going along quite nicely, 24 from 20 balls. He just tries to dab that one down a fine leg and fails to make contact. He's 24 from 20. When Madsen's out there with 2 from just the 3 deliveries that he's faced. The men out, Lewis Rees in the first over, caught and ball by Josh Cobb for 1. And Hayden Kerr caught by Graham White off the bowling of Freddie Heldrick, the first ball after the power play. He made 29. It's a stiff task for Derbyshire. The required rate is just under 10. They're going along at 8.5. They're 62 for 2 in the 8th. Next delivery is turned into the leg side by Shan Masood. They've run the first one quickly. They're only going to get 1 though, as it's fielded by Graham White. Single takes Masood to 25, 63 for 2. Just a little bit behind, but not alarmingly behind at the moment, Derbyshire. At 63 for 2, having lost Lewis Rees and Hayden Kerr. Still got Leas Deploy, Brooke Guest, Alex Hughes, Matty McKiernan. Of the men who you would say could definitely bat. Mark Watt can bat. He's not mortgage territory though. As Taylor, he's on his way in again from the City End bowling to Wayne Madsen, who just guides this up towards long on. He has to hurtle in from the edge of the boundary to the edge of the 30-yard circle to get there. Madsen moves on to 3, 64 for 2. No fireworks from anybody yet. We did see a couple of 6s from Hayden Kerr, including that big one into the car park. But when he tried it, the first ball outside the power play, he put it straight into the hands of Graham White. Never a good thing for a batsman. Fielders moving around. Heldrick has gone from fine leg to fine leg for the left-handed Shan Masood. He's on the boundary. We've got Neesham and Chris Lynn backward of square on the offside. That one is down the leg side and will be wide, won't it? Well, it isn't wide. I'm sure Shan Masood could quite believe that as he wanders off into the leg side. Not massively happy with that decision, Shan Masood. We're not directly behind, so it might have gone over leg stump, in which case it would be absolutely fine, of course. Anything outside leg stump is generally signalled wide. Taylor, final ball of his over, in again, and this one is clipped into the leg side by Shan Masood, almost falling into the offside. Picks up another single, pinches the strike as well. 65 for 2 at the end of the over. 7 runs from over number 8. At the same stage, 72 for 4 were Northamptonshire, so not a huge amount in it as Freddie Heldrick comes back, having conceded just the 4 runs from his first over. Said he bowled brilliantly down at goes at 8.7 and over the course of the season, but Derbyshire just haven't been able to get him away. 5s at Wantage Road, and 4 off his first over here, including a wicket. He's on his way in now over the wicket to bowl to Shan Masood. It's a full toss and it's driven out into the leg side. That's 4. My word, he hit that hard. There were 2 men out there in the vicinity, but neither could get round. And Masood, with Wayne Madsen signalling the 4 on the big screen, moves on to 30 and Derbyshire to 69 for 2. Can't beat a bit of thin Lizzie. Here's Heldrick again in and bowls. This is another full delivery. Now then, this is played out into the offside this time. 1 bounce, 4 out towards the extra cover boundary this time. That's a bit more like it. Masood moves to 34 off 26 with his 4th boundary, and Derbyshire up to 73 for 2 in the 9th. 73 for 2 after 2 balls at the 9th, indeed. There's a big gap in the leg side if he wants to go against the spin. I think it's against the spin. Here's Heldrick in and bowls, and he does try. Now that one is a claim for a catch. It's got to be a wide, yes. It's an ironic cheer. Oh, we don't need that though. We don't need that. Never liked it, never will. 74 for 2 after 2 legitimate deliveries of the 9th over. Heldrick is in again, and this one is driven straight back towards him, on the bounce, and he dives to his right to try to stop it. Can't. Cobb does the fielding. Masood moves to 35 from 27, and Derbyshire to 75 for 2 halfway through the 9th over. Heldrick tosses himself a catch. He's into ball to Madsen, who uses his feet and drives it down the ground. He wants 2, there won't be 2. Taylor picks up down below us and hurls the ball in. Good throw. And the ball just ricochets away from Heldrick, but not far away for the batsman to get through for an overthrow. Madsen moves to 4, 76 for 2. On Sunday at Birmingham, it was Madsen who was the aggressor, whilst Masood watched. Swapped around in this partnership so far of 22. Heldrick bowls outside the off stump, left alone. Absolutely brilliant. We've seen another leave. I think that's 3 in the match. A genuine leave outside the off stump as Heldrick pushed that one through. Masood 35 from 28. Next delivery's on the leg stump, and he turns it round the corner. There is a man there at short fine leg. They scamper through for a single. 77 for 2 at the end of the over. 8 off it, and after 9 overs, Northamptonshire 80 for 4, Derbyshire 77 for 2. Could be in for quite an exciting finish here. So Rob Bailey just trying to sort his back out. That might be the way forward. I might give that a go later on. Lifting his legs rather bizarrely. As Jimmy Neesham returns to bowl the final over of the first half of the Derbyshire innings. 7 off his first over, 6 to him, and an extra. Keep half an eye on Trent Bridge, where Nottinghamshire are 107 for 6. They need 64 off 23. Wow, that is quite something. So Neesham on his way in now from the city end of bowl to Shan Masood. Masood, well, takes a step towards him, and then it's wide down the leg side. He takes a little touch, and it goes down a fine leg for 4 runs. 3 photographers down below us. One of them put his hands on his head. The other 2 just watched. It's a good shot from Masood. 81 for 2 now. He moves on to 40 from 30 deliveries. Notts would stay on 7 points from 10 games. There's Neesham again, 81 for 2, Derbyshire. Neesham is in, and that one is driven out into the offside square, up towards the cover boundary, only a single possible. Masood moves to 41 from 31, 82 for 2. Partnership is 28, and Wayne Madsen's got 4 of them. Leicestershire would move to 12 points and vastly improve their net run rate, but they'd have played 12 games. Looks like it's 4 from 5 for the quarter-finals. In comes Neesham, bowls a short delivery. Madsen tries to flick this one away. Neesham just lingers at the end of his follow-through. Smiles at him, knowingly. Dot ball, 82 for 2 it remains. Good ball. Any dot ball in T20 cricket is a good ball. 3 deliveries gone of this over number 10. Halfway, 87 for 4, Northampton. Derbyshire currently 82 for 2 with 3 balls of the 10th over to go. Starting to get dark out there. In comes Neesham and bowls to a charging Wayne Madsen, who has absolutely no idea where that ball's gone. Gets back into his crease. Neesham kicks it towards the stumps and removes the bails, and it stays at 82 for 2. In the big game in the South Group, first against second, Surrey against Somerset. Somerset made 144 for 8. Sorry, 112 for 4. They need 33 from 18 balls. They'd be the favourites. Glamorgan have beaten Middlesex by 8 wickets. Middlesex not having a great season in the T20 Blast. I think they won their first 3 and haven't won since. Here at Derbyshire, 82 for 2. Madsen waits and drives it straight back down the ground. 1 bounce 4. Glorious shot from Wayne Madsen. Having failed to make a proper connection with the previous delivery, he made a proper one with that, and he moves on to 8 from 8 deliveries with his first boundary and signals the 4 himself on the big screen, and Derbyshire move up to 86 for 2. I have no idea what this music is. That is a completely new one on me. Here comes Neesham again, in and bowls to Madsen, who pulls this round into the leg side for a 1 bounce 4 to backward square leg this time. A slower delivery, I think, for Neesham. Madsen waited and waited and eventually turned it away for 4. He's on to 12 from 9. Masood has 41 at the end of 10 overs. Derbyshire are 90 for 2 at the same stage. Northants were 87 for 4. 13 off that over from Jimmy Neesham. Well. You always worry when you lose a wicket in the first over. And when you lose a wicket from the first ball outside the power play, it's Graham White, who was yet to bowl in this match. He's going to bowl from the racecourse end. But when you lose 2 wickets like that, there's that little nagging feeling in the back of the mind. Nottinghamshire have lost a 7th wicket and now need 59 from 17 balls. White begins his spell and it's pulled into the leg side by Shan Masood for a single. 91 for 2. Leicestershire are going to thrash Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge. I can't imagine there will be too many Nottinghamshire fans still in the ground. Derbyshire there on Thursday, of course. White in between the umpire and the stumps around the wicket, balls to Wayne Madsen, who gets the reverse out. Now then, he's got all of that. Has he got it for 6? He has. Terrific shot by Wayne Madsen. It was just a matter of whether it was 4 or 6, and it was 6. And Madsen moves to 18 from 10 now, having had a fairly sluggish start. He's striking at 180, and Derbyshire 97 for 2. Some shot from Wayne Madsen. He does like a reverse. Here comes Graham White around the wicket, balls to Madsen, who clips this one over the infield in the offside and gets 4 more. Both fielders in the offside on the edge of the 30-yard circle at cover and extra cover. Madsen brings up the Derbyshire 100. 101 for 2. Madsen up to 22, and in a partnership of 47, he now has 22, which means that Shan Masood's been doing a lot of watching in recent times. Graham White in again around the wicket, balls to Madsen, who tries to turn that into the leg side. There's a half-hearted appeal for leg before wicket. I think he's going to say there was some. No, he's not. He's going to signal leg by his umpire Bailey. 102 for 2 with 2 balls of the 11th over still to be bowled. It must be going dark because the scorers have just put the light on. The good news is the chocolate is reformed, and that one is slapped down the ground from Shan Masood. Probably the most important thing. Taylor does the fielding at long off. Masood moves on to 43, and Derbyshire to 103 for 2 with 1 ball of the 11th over still to go. The run rate is 9.5. The required rate is 9.2. It's the first time that those two have been that way round, as White goes in and bowls to Madsen, who tries to sweep. He's struck on the pad. He's going to get a leg by. Or is it bat into ground? It's bat into ground, and he picks up another single to move to 23. 104 for 2 at the end of the over. 14 runs off over number 11. At the same stage, Northants were 98 for 4. You can all sing along at home if you want. I'm not going to. Ben Sanderson, who earlier on saw an over go for 16 from the City end, is going to come on. He's bowled 2 overs so far for 23. Ben Sanderson. So we're going to hear the end of Neil Diamond. Get it off. The sooner he bowls, the sooner he's off. Here we go then. Sanderson into bowl to Wayne Madsen. Oh, he's going to be caught in bowl, as he know. He got a leading edge. Sanderson couldn't quite contort his body into a position where he could catch the ball one-handed. He's looking at the edge of his bat now. Sanderson, and he gets a pat on the back from Wayne Madsen, who moves on to 24, 105 for 2. So well, but that's another one that seems to have stopped on the pitch on the batsman. Quite remarkable, really. Nottinghamshire now 117 for 8. They need 54 from the last 2 overs. I don't think they're going to get them. And Leicestershire are going to boost their net run rate massively. They're currently minus 0.435, not so minus 0.57. They're almost in the relegation zone. Sanderson around the wicket. Shame, really. Bowls to Masood, who guides this down to a very, very, very fine third man for 4 runs. Deliberate shot. Keeper standing up. Masood just helped it on its way. Beautiful shot. 109 for 2. Masood up to 47. Required rate down to 9 and over. The run rate is 9.6. Here he comes again. Sanderson, third ball of his over. Bowls to Masood, who rather ugly shot, clubs it up to long on for a single. He moves to 48, 110 for 2. So Glamorgan have already beaten Middlesex fairly comfortably, 8 wickets, that one. Sorry, 14, 15 runs away, 8 balls to get them. Tight finish there as Sanderson bowls a full delivery to Wayne Madsen, who steps back and creams it out to the long off boundary for 4 runs. Another beautiful shot from Wayne Madsen. 114 for 2 now, Derbyshire. Madsen up to 28 from 15 deliveries. 4 fours now and a 6. He's striking at 186. Really nice shot from Madsen. Waits now as Ben Sanderson is in again and bowls, and he guides this one down to a backward point. There is a fielder down there. They're going to settle for a single as the ball is hurled back in by Rob Keogh. Madsen moves to 30, to 29, I beg your pardon, and Derbyshire to 115 for 2. With 1 ball of the 12th over still to be bowled. Duckworth Lewis suggests they should be on 97. They're 115 for 2. Masood waits. That will change if a wicket falls. He pulls this violently into the leg side. They've run 1. Oh, and it's gone through the fielder. It's gone straight through the fielder, Ben Curran, for 4. We saw that in the game at Chesterfield. And Shan Masood gets to a 50 with a little bit of good fortune. 36 balls. It was his 7th 4. And Masood, well, it's his 4th half century of the season. Derbyshire move on to 119 for 2 at the end of the over. It was Will Frayne at Chesterfield, wasn't it, who let the ball through his legs in the final over of the match, which proved pretty costly. Ben Curran just took his eye off the ball there. Couldn't gather it in. 15 runs off the 12th over. 119 for 2 at the same stage. Northampton were 106 for 4. And Josh Cobb is back. 2 overs, 1 for 9. Trying to put a break on the Derbyshire scoring. He needs a new bat, does Shan Masood. He's going to get one before he faces the next ball he faces, but he's at the non-striker's end at the moment, so Cobb will come in and bowl to Wayne Madsen, who's lifted that one down straight over the wicketkeeper's head for 4 runs. That is a remarkable shot from Wayne Madsen. He moves on to 33. Derbyshire to 123 for 2. Wow, that's just sheer madness. They need 64 to win here, Derbyshire. Absolute madness. Cobb in again. This time the reverse comes out. He doesn't make good contact with him. They go through for a single. Moves to 34, 124 for 2. Some people say I'm obsessed with knots. I'm not, but they need 49 off 5 balls. Leicestershire are going to beat Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge. Josh Cobb is in around the wicket, bowls to Masood. Oh, that's a horrible shot as well. He might get 2 for this. He's run the first one. No, he's only going to get 1. That's a good piece of fielding. He got a thick bottom edge on that one as he pulled it into the leg side. He moves to 53, 125 for 2. Cobb goes around the wicket. Again, he's got that little flick over the wicketkeeper's head. And again, he's got 4. And that's twice he's done it in the over. Wayne Madsen, that is remarkable. He moves on to 38. 129 for 2. And I'm sure the announcer just said, way to go, Madders again. We haven't heard that for a while. 129 for 2. Madsen on to 38 from 19. Striking at around 200. Cobb in again. And this time he's... Oh, and he's paddled it very fine as well this time. It's going to go all the way to the boundary for 4 more. Cobb stands double teapot at the end of his very short follow-through. Madsen moves into the 40s. He's on 42, and Derbyshire 133 for 2 with 1 ball of the 13th over to go. It's been a remarkable innings from Wayne Madsen, who started pretty slowly, but my word, has he made up for it in recent times. 210 runs per 100 deliveries he's batting at. And he waits now at 133 for 2, and that's wide down the leg side. And they're going to get a run as well. So 2 more to the total. 135 for 2, and 1 ball still of the over, still to be bowled. Said it'd be a tall order, and it still will be a tall order. It'd be the 4th highest successful run chase. As Cobb is in and bowls to Masood, who clips it out into the leg side for a single. The over that keeps on giving comes to an end at 136 for 2. 3 boundaries. 17 runs off it in total. That's 14 runs off over number 11, 15 runs off over number 12, and 17 runs off over number 13. After 13 overs, Derbyshire 136 for 2. At the same stage, it was 117 for 4 Northamptonshire. Derbyshire need 51 to win now at 7.3 runs and over. The current rate is 10.5. Wow. Wow. Meanwhile, Nottinghamshire have been bowled out for 123 and have been beaten by 47 runs at home by Leicestershire. That is remarkable. Just going to make a note. -435. See what the run rate moves to, because that is a huge swing in favour of Leicestershire. That is a magnificent effort. Here, current stand is 82 off 41 balls. As Tom Taylor returns from the city end in and bowls to Masood, gets a short delivery. That's a wide, surely. 1 for the over, says the umpire, Steve O'Shaughnessy, at the far end. Will be another couple of minutes. We'll do another update from Martin into the evening show. I think it's going to be beyond 10 o'clock when we finish tonight. Taylor is in. Masood goes back into his crease and punches it up the ground towards long on for a single and moves to 55. Simon Pegg's been to the Asda in Spondon. Well, well, well. Emergency vehicle goes up Frank Whittle Road. Leicestershire have moved to minus 1.192. They are on 12 points. Not 10 games played, 3 wins and 6 defeats. That one's turned into the leg side by Wayne Madsen for another single. He moves on to 43. Derbyshire to 138 for 2. Partnership up to 84. Last wicket fell at 54 when Hayden Kerr was caught by Graham White off the bowling of Freddie Heldrick. 2 runs off the over from the first 3 deliveries. Been a good start to the over from Tom Taylor, who conceded 20 runs off his first 2 overs and just 2 runs off the first 3 balls of his third. Wants the man at extra cover just to come in 5 or 6 yards inside the 30-yard circle. Taylor is in, strikes the pad of Shan Masood. They'll go through for a leg by. Good throw, removes a stump. In fact, it's given us a run to Masood, who moves on to 56, which would have negated the LBW appeal. Certainly 139 for 2. He stays on 55, so perhaps there was a signal. I didn't see a signal. 139 for 2. See what the official scorecard pops up on the computer tells me. In comes Taylor again, and that one is a full delivery that Wayne Madsen digs out. Pushed up towards mid-on. And about 90 seconds before the next update for Martin Williams into the big show in the evening. It's Lizzo that's in my ears. I think it's Lizzo. If it is, I'm very pleased with myself. 140 for 2. Might be Lizzo. Could be anybody, really. Martin does play some modern music. 140 for 2. 130 for 4 at the end of 14 overs. Northamptonshire. Taylor is in to bowl the final ball of the over. It's dug out nicely there by Shan Masood. They run one. They're going to come back for the second. This might be tight. The throw comes in, but it's not accurate enough. They do scramble back for the second. End of the over, 142 for 2. 6 runs off it. The bugle's out. Everybody's happy. And Derbyshire need 45 to win from 6 overs. We're going to see Freddie Heldrick again. Indeed, Martin, how astute an observation that is. Wayne Madsen's just hit another 6. That is magnificent. It's a reverse sweep for 6 down to the members' pavilion at the far end. The Falcons have moved on to 148 for 2. First delivery of the 15th over. What that means is that from the remaining 35 balls, they need to score 39 runs, and it's well within their compass. It'll be the 4th highest successful run chase in Derbyshire's history. Shan Masood's on 57. That 6 takes Wayne Madsen to a half century. That's his 2nd of the season. It's Masood's 4th of the season, and the partnership is worth 94. They're batting. It's an absolute masterclass from these two. Madsen 50 from 23. Masood 57 from 42. Derbyshire 148 for 2. They require 39 runs from 35 balls. Heldrick bowls to, fingers crossed, bowls to Madsen, who just guides this one out into the offside for a single. 149 for 2. We've seen one remarkable result already this evening at Trent Bridge, where Leicestershire beat Nottinghamshire by 47 runs, having made 170. Heldrick is in again, bowls to Masood, who's lifted it down the ground. He's going to be caught on the boundary's edge by Jimmy Neesham, and he is caught on the boundary's edge by Jimmy Neesham. Masood goes for 57. Good catch by Jimmy Neesham. And it means that Freddie Heldrick has a 2nd wicket, but it's been a terrific knock from Shan Masood. 57 from 43 balls, 7 fours. Shan Masood goes with the score on 149 for 3. And Derbyshire needing 38 runs from 33 deliveries as Lias Deploy comes out to bat. Shame he couldn't see them over the line, but he won't mind too much who gets them over the line as long as somebody does. It's a very dramatic way to announce Lias. Lias Deploy. Left-handed batsman like his skipper. Was it 48 off 20 on Saturday to see Derbyshire home against Yorkshire? Has hit his first delivery for a boundary in the last couple of innings from memory. Let's see what happens here as Freddie Heldrick goes in and bowls to him, and he just, well, he gets a thick inside edge. That was horrible. Thick inside edge on that one. Now, Tim. Modern music playing tonight. Bet it's not Bebop Deluxe. No, it isn't. Don't know what it is. Some of it. Heldrick over the wicket again, the left-hander, and it's pulled into the leg side by Lias Deploy, who's off the mark with a single. 37 from 32. The requirement now for Derbyshire. The run rate is 10. The required rate is 7 overs and 2 balls, and it's 150 for 3. Don't usually get excited about a team 150. But why not? It's a Tuesday night. Heldrick is in, bowls to Madsen, who cuts it down to fine, or short rather, third man. They scamper through for another single. And at the end of that over and over in which a wicket fell, 151 for 3, 9 runs off it. And they need 36 runs from the final 5 overs, so 30 deliveries with 7 wickets in hand, with almost being managing to tie with Nottinghamshire territory if they didn't get home from here. Jimmy Neesham's going to come back. He's bowled 2 overs for 19. The fact they only need 7 and over to win is clearly a massive bonus for Derbyshire. Wayne Madsen's 50. I didn't quite make a note of when he got there. I shall have to look that up now. 23. Blimey. 23 balls, 7 fours and 2 sixes. It's his second in successive matches. Wayne Madsen, clearly his chat with Twiggy this morning has paid dividends. Here's Neesham then, over number 16. He's going to be bowling it from the city end. Derbyshire need 36 to win from 30 deliveries. And Wayne Madsen, 52 not out, is on strike. Neesham is in and bowls to him, and he drives it. Well, he rather drags it up to long on for a single. Derbyshire move to 152 for 3. I'm sure Martin is keeping across this. I can send him a message as well, which is excellent news, because I know his number. 152 for 3. You've got to keep yourself amused at times like this. Keep your mind off the pressure that the batsmen are feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling any. But a terrific game of T20 cricket. Neesham is in and bowls to Deploy, who clips it out into the leg side. They've run the first one quickly. They won't come back for a second. Deploy moves on to 2. Derbyshire to 153 for 3. Not quite as loud now, the Northamptonshire Steelbacks fielders. Be interested to hear what they thought about the total tomorrow after the game tonight. Neesham's in. That one is clipped into the leg side by Wayne Madsen. Sliding stop on the edge of the 30-yard circle. Good effort that as well. I think it's Ben Sanderson there. If it is, that's a fine piece of fielding from the opening bowler. 154 for 3. 33 now required. 27 deliveries remaining. Neesham turns at the top of his mark. Round about a 30-yard run in for the Kiwi. He's in now, bowls to deploy, gets a short delivery and manages to turn it airily into the leg side for a single. Neesham thought he might have had his man there, but he didn't. Another single to deploy, moves on to 3 from 4 balls, 155 for 3. Wayne Madsen's strike rate is, well, it's back down to 200. Taps his bat on the crease as he waits for Neesham to turn at the far end. He's on his way in now. Jimmy Neesham bowls to Wayne Madsen, who gets a wide delivery and manages somehow to get some bat on it out into the offside. Oh, and there's another misfield out there. This is by Rob Keogh, and they come back for a second. They're thinking about a third. They'll settle for 2. 157 for 3, 30 off 25. And a chat with Ben Curran down here. Sure who it is having a chat with Ben Curran, but somebody is down below us. In comes Jimmy Neesham again and bowls to Wayne Madsen, who gets a beamer. Well, not quite a beamer, it was an above waist high full toss. It's a no ball. They go through for a single, so they'll get 3 for that. 27 off 25 now. 160 for 3. And it's a free hit, and Leas Deploy will be on strike. Madsen picks up another single to move to 57. Free hit for Derbyshire. I don't think they're going to overturn the net run rate from .455 and .522. Northampton's just slightly better off, but it will be level on points and a point behind Lancashire should they win this one. Derbyshire 160 for 3, free hit. Neesham is in, bowls, and there's a ball that scuds along the floor. Might even have come off the bottom of his Leas Deploy's bat, and as a result, it remains 27 to win from 24 deliveries. End of the over, 9 off it, 160 for 3. Still to come, Brooke Guest and Alex Hughes, Matty McKiernan, Sam Connors, Mark Watt and George Scrimshaw. We don't want to see Connors, Watt and Scrimshaw with a bat. Thank you very much. Here's Freddie Heldrick. To bowl his final over, 3 overs, 2 for 25. He's been terrific, as he was down at Wantage Road, where he took 2 for 20 in 4 overs. He bowls to Madsen, who goes back into his crease and pushes this one along the ground up towards a long off. 161. 161 for 3. Madsen up to 58. One major contribution for Northamptonshire earlier as Heldrick is in again and bowls to Deploy. Gets struck on the pad as a half-hearted appeal for leg before wicket. That was a 93 from Saif Zabe, who was run out in the final over for 93 off 58 balls. 28 from Jimmy Neesham. The next highest score was 17 from Josh Cobb. This next one is turned into the leg side, backward of square by Leas Deploy for another single. 25 to win now, Derbyshire. Required rate remains around 7. Next one is a full toss, and it's beaten into the leg side for 4 runs by Wayne Madsen. Poor delivery, a rare poor delivery from Freddie Heldrick. And Madsen wasn't going to miss out there. They need barely a run a ball now. 21 from 20. 166 for 3. It is quite staggering. We'll double check with David Griffin, but will be the 4th highest successful run chase in Derbyshire's T20 history. They've never won 5 T20 matches in a row in the T20 Blast, any of its guises. They're 166 for 3. Madsen on to 62 from 31. And Freddie Heldrick has 2 balls of his final over still to bowl. This time Madsen goes back into his stumps and pushes it square on the offside for a single. 19 deliveries to go 20 runs required for victory. Deploy waits. Heldrick in and bowls to him, and it turns it into the leg side for another single. And that is the final ball of the 17th over. 168 for 3, so 8 off that one. Madsen has 63, Deploy has 5. Derbyshire need 19 runs to win from 18 deliveries. And they really should stroll home from here. They needed 12 off 3 overs against Notts last season, you may remember, with 5 wickets in hand, and managed to tie the game. This is a different Derbyshire side, I think it's fair to say. It doesn't feel like the kind of side who throws positions like this away, but we shall see. Tom Taylor is returning to bowl the 18th over. 3 overs for 25 so far, which are decent enough figures. But of course, they only need 6 and over. So even if he finishes with 4 overs for 30, Derbyshire will be bang on target. 19 from 18 then. Lears Deploy on strike. In comes Taylor and bowls to him, and he clips this into the leg side. They're going to run the first one quickly. They're going to come back for the second, or they know they're not. Single taken, 18 from 17. 169 for 3. Deploy moves on to 6 from 9. This is the man who got 48 off 20 and 19 off the last over to beat Yorkshire at Chesterfield on Saturday. It seems like an age ago. Large plane flies to the south of the ground. Fielders moving all over the place here. All sorts of change required by Tom Taylor. Madsen waits. Taylor on his way in. Bowls, and Madsen pulls it into the leg side. There's 2 there, I would have thought. It might even get 4. The fielder has to slide to get the ball. They do come back for a second. 171 for 3 now. Madsen moves on to 65. And it is down to a runner ball. 16 from 16. Remarkable. .171 for 3. Taylor, 3 overs and 2 balls, 0 for 28. The only 2 men to pick up wickets. Josh Cobb, 3 overs, 1 for 26. And Freddie Heldrick, who's finished. This one is, smashed down the ground, straight back over the bowler's head for a 1-bounce 4 by Wayne Madsen. And now Derbyshire can see the finish line. They need 12 off 15 balls as they move on to 175 for 3. Madsen signals his own 4 on the big screen as he moves up to 69 off 34 balls. Absolutely terrific stuff from Wayne Madsen yet again. No half centuries in the first 9 games, and now back-to-back. He tries to guide this one. That was a sharp delivery from Taylor. He's not giving up without a fight. 12 from 14. Dot ball, first of the over. 7 off it so far. 175 for 3. Madsen on 69 from 35. Deploy on 6 from 9. Madsen's strike rate has just dropped below 200 for the first time in a long time. Taylor in. Now it's down the leg side. That'll be a wide. They're going to go through for a single as well. The ball, if it had hit the stumps from the throw from the wicketkeeper Lewis McManus, it would have spelled the end of Lears Deploy. But as it is, they need 10 off the last 13 balls now, having sneaked through for a couple at 177 for 3. The target 187. And they lost Lewis Rees, caught and bowled in the first over for 1. You did wonder. Hayden Kerr made 29. Shan Masood, a beautiful 57 off 43. But Wayne Madsen, simply magnificent. 69 off 35. He's at the non-strikers end at the moment. Lears Deploy. He's on 6 from 9 balls. That is immaterial. Fielder's still being brought into the edge of the circle, being pushed back out again. Not sure whether Josh Cobb knows entirely how to contain the Derbyshire batsmen at the moment. Remember, Leicestershire have already beaten Notts to move on to 12 points from 12 matches. Notts 7 points from 10. Taylor is in, bowls. That's just guided into the leg side by Lewis Deploy. The target is down into single figures now. It's 9 off the last 2 overs. 170. Hold on. What am I talking about? How many balls are left then? 13. 9 off 13. It is tough. Some people think this is easy. Here is Tom Taylor in from the city end, bowls to Madsen, who pulls him around the corner, and it's gone all the way for 4, and that should pretty much do it for Derbyshire. They need 5 off the last 2 overs to beat Northamptonshire and maintain their push for a place in the quarterfinals of the T20 Blast. It's been a masterclass from Wayne Madsen, who moves to 73 from 36. Deploy has 7 from 10. Derbyshire 182 for 3. I think that's 14 off the over in the end. It doesn't really matter who bowls the penultimate over. I think it's going to be Jimmy Neesham. He sacrificed himself. He's bowled 3 overs for 28, Jimmy Neesham. He's going to be bowling initially to Lewis Deploy. Derbyshire need 5 to win, and they've got 12 deliveries in which to get them. So the run rate, the required rate, is 2.5 and over. It's never been as low. 1 or 2 people making their way towards the exits, but they'll want to cheer their heroes come the final reckoning. Here comes Neesham then, from the racecourse end, bowls to Lewis Deploy, who guides this down towards a long on, well, mid-on really, and the mid-on fumbles it, and they need 4 to win now off 11. 183 for 3. I don't know if Martin's listening over the commentary while he's back at base. Four from 11. In comes Neesham bowls. That one is wide of the off stump, and he's been caught behind as Wayne Madsen. He tried to guide that one away. Neesham gets his man, caught behind by Lewis McManus for a magnificent 73 off 37 balls. It's been a terrific innings. He's hit 10 fours and 2 sixes, but he won't be there at the end, Wayne Madsen. Derbyshire 183 for 4. They need 4 from 10 deliveries for their 7th win of the season in the T20 Blast. Listen to this applause for Wayne Madsen. I do get the feeling that's no more than consolation for Northamptonshire as the new man comes out to bat. It's wicketkeeper batsman Brooke Guest. He's got a half-century in the tournament so far this season. Don't need to do anything silly. 4 runs required from 10 deliveries with 6 wickets in hand. This will be worse than the Nottinghamshire game, but it won't be. Neesham picks up his first wicket, 1 for 29, Jimmy Neesham, who's on his way in to bowl to Brooke Guest. Neesham bowls and Guest gets a slow delivery that he pushes up to mid-on, and they go through for a single. They need 3 to win off 9 now. Nine deliveries to go. 3 runs for victory. They've gone along pretty consistently at 10 and over since the 7th over. Lewis Deploy waits. In goes Neesham and bowls to him, and he pulls it into the leg side. There might be 2 here. They've run the first one quickly. They're going to come back for the second. There is no misfield, and the scores are level with 8 deliveries to go. 186 for 4. Lewis Deploy moves on to 10 from 12 deliveries. And Lewis Deploy, who hit the winning runs at Chesterfield, has the opportunity to hit the winning runs here at the County Ground on an historic 5th successive T20 Blast victory for for the Falcons. Everybody inside the circle now, apart from the man on the leg side boundary. Neesham into Leas Deploy. Bowls and Deploy drives it, and Neesham stops it in his follow-through and looks at his hand. That will have hurt. That really will have stung. There are 7 deliveries to go. 1 run required for victory. We're not going to see Matty McKiernan, Alex Hughes, Sam Connors, Mark Watt or George Scrimshaw bat this evening, and in the case of the latter 3, that could only be a good thing. Neesham turns on the edge of the 30-yard circle. 1 run required by Derbyshire. The scores are level. In comes Neesham. Bowls to Leas Deploy, who smashes the ball out of the ground for 6. That's gone a long, long way. It is signalled 6 by the umpire. Deploy finishes on 16. And Derbyshire have won this one with 6 balls to spare. It's their 5th successive T20 victory in the Blast. It's the first time they've ever done that. And they've moved up to 14 points alongside the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. A victory here for Derbyshire by 6 wickets, thanks to half centuries from Shan Masood, who made 57, and Wayne Madsen, who hit 73 off 37 balls. Leas Deploy finishes on 16 not out. Brooke Guest on 1. That has been the 4th highest successful run chase by Derbyshire in T20 history. And they are on course for the quarterfinals of the competition. A 7th win of the season, a 5th in a row. Derbyshire win this one by 6 wickets with 6 balls to spare. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage on BBC Radio Derby. Join us again on Thursday. Chris Coles joins us live from Trent Bridge when Derbyshire take on the Notts Outlaws. They might even wrap up a place in the quarterfinals with a victory there. Who knows? Terrific performance this evening though. Thanks for your company. I shall speak to you again on Thursday night alongside Chris Coles live from Trent Bridge. We're on air from 6 o'clock on BBC Radio Derby, but for now, a very good evening.